Hello, Fightful Faithful, and welcome to a New Year's celebration on the Tuesday show that we do. It's the Sour Grap Show.
It's the Sour Grapes post show, and guess what, guys? I'm the scoopster today. Okay, look at me, Sean Rossap. I am the captain now because I've got scoops. They definitely weren't handed to me from Sean. So we're gonna talk about some. Alex, this has always confused me because is it New Year's Evil or is it New Year's? Like, is it New Year's Eve right now in NXT world, or is it?
Yes.
Or is New Year's Evil a different thing? Okay.
Yeah, because they were talking about what better way to ring in the new year than with blank, blank, blankety blank.
Okay, so if we're on air at midnight, which I suspect we will be, midnight Eastern, we're gonna have a party. But get into your super chats, get into your humper chats. I do have scoops for you. I have the information Sean sent me and no other information about anything else. So I just think that if you have questions, you should subscribe to Fightful Select and get answers there. You can ask Sean in the Ask SRS Discord channel that we have, best $5.99 in the business. We'll also remind you there's only 2 categories of the Fightful Awards left, and they're Moment of the Year and they are Gear of the Year. Some of them are subject to switch at any time, but that's what you got left. So if you have a clothing brand and you want to do some Gear of the Year stuff, there's some fun ways to go there. Moment of the Year, there's so many things you could do. I think personally the Moment of the Year is yet to come because it's only New Year's Evil right now. So there are so many call-ups to talk about. There's nobody left on the roster. This was definitely a weird little show, but they have no more wrestlers left. So this episode did end with Ava saying that Javon, Trick, Lash, and Jordan are officially called up. So I think we saw Javon in commercial break yesterday get drafted to Raw. We saw Trick find his home. Lash has been doing work on SmackDown for a while, and Jordan is it an official call up, which is good to see. But Blake Monroe also moving to the main roster. That was something that was reported by Sean, but she is main roster bound. The choice not to do a rematch had been planned for at least a week. And Jordynne Grace is officially done at NXT. Ava confirmed that. But Jacy, Jayne discussed for call-ups. A lot of other people selected for, conversations about call-ups here. But with Javon, Oba, Blake, Jordan, Jacy, Trick, like all being called up, Trick being called up, like the anchors of the top of this card. Like the whole top of both divisions is just gone in the blink of an eye, which puts booking in a very weird situation, especially because 2 of those had concrete stories that were developing. Like there was a lot going on in the title picture. There was a lot going on with the North American title picture. Obviously, some of that was unplanned, but that almost makes it seem even more insane with what we got tonight. But so there's just, this is one of the things with NXT. Like they're definitely the Wild West of the booking world anyway. They're like, you know what? Tatum Paxley won a battle royal in the title, and that's the only wins she's had as a singles competitor for an entire year. And that's just the way they're going to do things, and we're going to be sour about it, and that's the way of the world. But there are also situations like this where the booking gets put in handcuffs because they just all of the sudden kind of decide that they want to just call a bunch of people up. So I will say, spoiler alert, if you don't want spoilers, I'm not sure why you're tuning into a post show, but that happened the other day. So spoiler alert, Jacy retained. So call up conversations might not mean additional bloodletting right now, essentially. So there's I would hope with the women's title day, at least give it a story, because we just saw Oba leave the title in the ring tonight, Alex.
Yeah. He Oscar'd the title.
And Tony stared at it like a simp almost. Like he was like,
we are going to talk about a lot of things. Please get in your super chats and humper chats if you have questions. So do we, but perhaps we also have answers. I don't know. Pun topics. Let me see. Can we do nonsense puns? Things that make no sense. I don't know. Maybe we were going to do New Year's puns, but maybe we'll still do those. I don't know. All I know is that nothing makes sense.
What if we do can we do telephone ones? Because everybody's getting called up. Is there like a cute
Telephone
phones,
puns?
technology, cell phones, whatever kind of thing?
Communications puns?
Communications?
I don't know.
Telecommunications.
You know what? You guys send in puns. You in the super chat or the humper chat, tell us your topic and then tell us the pun of that topic. Nothing makes sense. It's a free-for-all. So it's also a free-for-all with the puns. Okay? Great. Good. Because
I'm gonna say telecommunications because I just thought of Adam Pager. And that's a fun, very short-lived technology that I like to reference when I can. Alex, there's something special that happens on where you're supposed to dress up, like today, where the booking goes extra nonsense. And I love that because sometimes your hottest rants are when you look your absolute most ridiculous. And that for me is fun.
I am nothing if not a very serious man. I am like to keep an even keel. You know, don't go too high, don't get too low. Okay, that's my whole thing. That's what
it's always between like a 4 and a 7 on the emotion scale. Yeah,
that's absolutely what it is with me. So obviously, as you can see from me, I'm very serious, and so when things get crazy, I don't know how to take it, and so things were crazy for this entire episode.
Yeah, and the last thing we are is crazy to your point. But we do have crazy accuracy at Fightful Select. So head on over there. We've been giving you scoops all week long, and it's only Tuesday. So what do you know? But we did have scoops about Jericho not returning to Raw. There was no memo that was sent out in AEW, as is their standard protocol. He was still on the roster page, et cetera, et cetera. So some Jericho news over there as well this week that I just wanted to highlight because there was a lot of confusion around him, and what gets reported is the thing that you can rely on as the guiding principle. We can speculate all we want. But man, oh man, this show, like one thing I enjoy with you is that you look at things at the creative. I tend to take in the scope of like, well, they just lost like the entire top of their card. So I go a little bit easier on stuff, but that doesn't mean the knee-jerk decisions that they had to make to fulfill these things are great ones.
Yeah, I fully understand that, like, when the main roster says comes to Colin and says we want this one and 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 this one, and they're all your top talent, that's got to be difficult for them, you know. And but you employ writers. They're called a creative team. There's more than one of them. There's a team of them, and when maybe they could all huddle up and work together as a team to come up with something that is not utter dog shit. Maybe they could do that. I don't know. They could do anything that makes sense. There are lots of options that make sense, and they always choose one that doesn't. I mean, listen, I'm here to tell you there are more options that don't make sense than there are ones that do. Okay, but there are multiple options that make sense. I would go into saying the double digits of things you could do that make sense. What you wouldn't do is have, and I apologize, I'm going to be a little all over the map here because, as I've said, I'm a very straight edge and even keel guy, but when things get crazy, I get crazy. So going back to when Blake Monroe at the time, we didn't know she was Blake Monroe, showed up for the first time. She says, you're looking at the next NXT women's champion. She had 0 matches for that title. Not a one. She never challenged for it. She said, she showed up and said, I'm the next women's champion. She was never that. So when she eventually became the North American Women's Champion, I was like, okay, that's going to lead to something. Maybe she'll have a long reign, and maybe she won't be the Women's Champion for realsies, but this long, productive reign will lead to something good. Eventually, she will put over somebody on purpose, and then she'll actually she'll make a new star. And then the thing happened with Thea Hale, where they weren't expecting that at all. And so my thought is, their plans, what we heard at the time was that Thea was obviously supposed to lose that match, but then go into some kind of shame spiral about how she's a big old fat loser, right? So that was their original plan, but then she won and she was the champion. And then we're going to do a rematch, but we're not going to do a rematch. Rather than have, I don't know, Thea Hale prove that she's not a big old fat loser by beating the woman who she surprise beat for the title, and that be Blake Monroe's last match that she has in NXT on the way to the main roster, because, that would make sense. And then if you wanted to have Thea lose that title, there's lots of weeks between now. There's a whole Vengeance Day special. You could absolutely have Thea Hale lose that at Vengeance Day if you don't want her to carry the title in to Stand and Deliver. You could do those things. Or you could do what they decided, which was to have Blake Monroe, who has been crashing out since she lost her North American title. She goes to Ava last week, and Ava says, we need to see more of the glamour. And apparently to Blake Monroe, that means for her to be a big old dum-dum. Because what she decided was to attack Thea Hale before the match could even start, beat her up so badly, and injure her on purpose. And she said to Ava, after that took place, I'll be taking my North American Women's Championship now. Because she thinks that by beating up the woman who took the title from her right before her scheduled rematch, if she beats her up bad enough that she can't continue, then automatically she gets the title belt, and that makes Blake Monroe a big old dum-dum. And that's bad. You don't want to make your wrestlers look like big old dum-dums. At least I think you shouldn't make. I, a very serious man, think you should not be making your wrestlers look like big old dum-dums. That's what I think.
We would never be caught looking like dum-dums. Like, we would never be caught looking anything better than our...
I look so smart. Don't look like a dum-dum. Okay?
People don't know those are couture disco balls on your head.
Right.
And designer 2026 shades. To your point, and there's only so much you can do on such short notice. I get that. But like Oba vacating this with Blake, I'm like, I don't love the pattern of nobody getting to benefit off of these people getting called up. Like, I was shocked and didn't initially love like what they did with Steph and Jayne, but I was like, but at least that did something, right? Like, it was a shock. And Jacy, and Jacy to their credit, rode that. Yeah, 100% for her entire first and second title reigns now. So there was like a benefit to that. I don't love it when people don't get to benefit. Now, that being said, if anybody's going to be like the vacating champion, Oba being it, I get. Like, that guy not losing.
We will talk all about Oba. I don't want to get into Oba right now. I'm still full crash out mode over Thea and Blake. Okay, so let's not get ahead of ourselves. There's a whole crash out I'm going to have about Oba, and then I'm gonna have a crash out about the entire product as a whole. But there's multiple crashes. I'm gonna crash my car into a telephone pole, walk away from that crash somehow, commandeer another vehicle, and then roll it over into a ditch. Walk away from that vehicle, commandeer another vehicle, cause a 24-call pileup. Somehow, I'm the only survivor of that. This is what this entire episode is gonna be. Everybody, buckle in. Okay, so here's the thing. Blake attacks Thea before she even gets to the ring, beats the hell out of her, smashes her up against the barricade, and just cockeyes the whole thing up. Somebody decided Blake Monroe is not allowed to lose on her way out of NXT. She's not allowed to put over anybody on the way out of NXT. Like, they made that decision also with Oba. That's a separate thing, but I'll get to it. So that is a thing, because it used to be that no matter what happened to you in NXT, that didn't matter what you got to the main roster. Nobody was like looking that up or anything. So like losing on your way to NXT was just part of leaving the territory. But now they're trying to protect certain people. It appears like backstage, Ava needs Robert Stone to go find something, and then she grabs a headset from some intern and yells into it about, hey, play the video package for Izzi and Tatum, another match that we somehow booked right while booking it wrong. So like there's a lot of stuff that we're going to talk about that, but then she does find Blake, and she says, what did you do? You ruined everything. And Blake says, oh, I'm sorry. You told me you wanted me to be the glamour, and with the glamour comes hell. So I'll be taking my North American title, please. And she says, and Ava says, no, you won't. No. Not only are you not getting that match, you're banned from the building. So Blake shows up on Raw or SmackDown next. Like, she's banned from NXT. She never comes back. Like, is that what we're doing here? Like, when has that ever been a thing?
I believe that Fightful Select has, I don't want to speak out of turn, so let me just pull up Sean's report. I believe Fightful Select has plans for which brand she's supposed to be on.
Wow.
I will leave that paywall because it's a sexy piece of information. that might be good for our paywall readers. It's a bad way to send someone off. It's first of all, when people get banned from something in NXT, they're usually back like a week later. You know what I mean? So
yeah.
It's just like it's hard to take that seriously.
That night is customary. Later that night is customary.
Yeah,
you're banned from the building, and then they just sneak in through a side door.
Usually the reaction to that is, oh, that's cute. So it's hard for me to take, like, Blake Monroe would respect that decision, right? So that's one creative issue with it. The second is, how many times do we see backstage attacks get met with completely different punishments than that? Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, backstage attacks happen like I drink water. I mean, like, it's
listen, I've definitely seen many times the heel attack the babyface before the match starts, and then the referee comes down to check on the babyface, and the babyface says, no, I can go, in a mixture of valiant and stupid. They're like, no, I can go, I'll be fine. And then they have the match. Like, perhaps that was Blake's great plan, but when 8 people are pulling you away from her and you've grabbed onto her boot and are trying to extricate her foot from her body, you're not allowing the thing to go on. And maybe she crashed out the way I have crashed out, and she's lost her mind, and that's why she thinks that her plan will work. But she's banned from the building, and we have to move on, and we're going to move on to a Ricky Starks promo where he says nothing. Like he just said, I'm the best. Everybody who left, they left because they couldn't take the heat from Ricky Starks, Ricky Saints, whatever his name is, and that's what we're gonna do. I'm the real star here. Oba, I hope you win, because if you do, I'm coming after you. And half of the thing you wanted came true, and the other half seems impossible now because of the thing that they did at the end of the show. So,
Sure.
So by the time everything that went on with the brawl at the beginning of the show, and the Ricky Saints promo that gave us no new information, and then they went to commercial, and then they came back from commercial and did some backstage segment. I'm not really sure which one it was. And then they went to and then they did the Izzi and Tatum video package. Like 22 minutes, fully 1/6 of the show's runtime had gone by and nothing had happened. Because I don't count Ricky Saints' promo to be anything, because it was about nothing.
So, with the women's North American title picture too, Thea is injured, not injured, like banged up. Jordan also called up. So this, in the past week, this whole thing has gotten arrested. It's so, I get it, but like you mentioned Ricky and that whole thing, like it feels like Ricky and Ethan both should be on the main roster, and NXT right now cannot afford to lose them because of some of the decisions that they've made as far as call-ups go. But it's like, Ricky basically said, Leon, if you win, I'll handle you later. Right? That was essentially it. I have what the children call a bugaboo, and we discussed this last night because there was also a promo that said nothing. About promos that don't promote anything. Like Gunther has been going out and not promoting anything week over week after tapping out the greatest wrestler of all time, John Cena. He just goes out there to gloat, which doesn't feel like in Gunther's character, and he says nothing until people get mad that he did his job well, and that's very upsetting to people. Ricky, I don't think Ricky knows what they could have said. Strap up Leon Slater in this match at some point. Like, what's next for Ricky? I think right now is genuinely a very big question mark, because that title is now sitting vacant. So, like, what promo was he supposed to give? I don't know. Like, I don't know what else you do with Ricky Saints right now. So, and the other thing is, like, who else was in this picture? Javon, who just got called up. Like, there's nobody for Ricky to. Everybody that Ricky has had like seeds sown with is now like just gone. So of course we're gonna get a vacant promo. But I will say, well, this is a good chat to pull up. Let me see if I can find it. But D Grayson saying tonight's show felt like segments bled together and everything was chaos. Reminds me of old NXT. It did feel so much to me like segments that happened because it's a knee-jerk reaction to, like, if we got a show that, if next week we're complaining that nothing that happens on next week's show had anything to do that happened on this week's show, I would not be surprised. Meaning, like, I don't think they've had a reset button.
It is I believe your favorite, Peter Avalon, who talks about how professional wrestling is the Muppet Show.
Yes.
No episode of NXT of any wrestling show has ever felt more like the Muppet Show than this. With segments backstage
walk
and like, but it was just like something had to, like, something led to this, which then because of that we have to do this instead, and then this thing happens. We actually got Ava the Frog talking to Scooter in the truck, like, hey, run that host segment. You know what I mean? Like that's what, like, basically backstage. And then we got the great Gonzo, aka Ethan Page, meeting with Ava the Frog to figure out when he was going to do his big promo thing.
Let's jump into some super chats real quick, just because we have some greetings.
Please do. While my brain recalibrates.
Yeah, we'll hit a reset button as we get into this, but there's been a lot happening. When I put things together of like how much got derailed of the entire women's U.S. title picture getting either called up or injured from last week. And everybody Ricky Saints has interacted with being called up. Like it is wild how much of course this show felt like a panic button. But my dad chimes in and says, "Happy New Year to the SGS, the greatest audience in sports entertainment." I love that my dad knows sports entertainment. Like that's how my dad doesn't give a shit about wrestling or sports entertainment, but he knows where the chips lay. He says, "Here's to a prosperous Team Calyx in 2026. May NXT someday be a show worth watching." Today was not that day, Dad, but I love you. I could just see Mrs. Elizabeth and I kicking back with our long lost son, J.W. Pringle, who in turn says, "Amazing Alex, Sister Killicate, powerful Papa Paul, Elizabeth, and all the SGS. The house of the Elizabeth Pringle concedes 2026 and move on to 2027. Where we're going, we don't need roads," says J.W. Pringle. We also got a chat that says, scoops of what? Ice cream? Protein? Cookie dough? I must know. Oh, I've got wrestling scoop. I am Dirt Sheet Girl. Okay. What's up, you guys? Kate here. Sean's got nothing on me. I'm going to start just like, going off about media literacy. It's going to be great. It's going to be great. I'm in my SRS era. The SGS has gone SRS. Oh, man. We also had Kylie saying, "Hi. Hope everyone is well. Your girl is doing great." Kylie, I love to hear that you're doing great. I love to hear that you're doing great. New energy. Like New Year, New You has never been more true for anyone, I think, than Kylie right now. So if you know, you know, we'll leave it at that. But Kylie, we love you around here. You know that. You know that. Greg Cherry's buying a third category of the Fightful Awards, which means I should have done a stream where I auction them off. Yeah. Seems like a fitting thing for what I'm promoting. Yes, Greg has some t-shirts that you can check out his social media and find the links to, but we will certainly plug that appropriately on the Fightful Awards. That means only moment of the year is left. So much like ECW, we are going to be sold out in all likelihood. Yeah. But Alex, maybe should we start the show?
We've been doing the show. I've been crashing out about the opening segment this whole time.
You know what? Let's actually take a break from talking about the show. Let's talk about something that just made me sour today.
Oh, okay.
You know when your phone charger half works? When the cable is like, if you put me at like the angle just right, I'll charge your phone. But if you breathe near it, no, I'm not gonna. Yeah. I had that happen today, and there's no episode. You could ZSJ Danielson 3 could happen in front of me in my living room right now, and I would be like, this charger situation drives me nuts, which is appropriate because we have telephone puns, Alex.
Yeah, that's good.
So there's my crash out for you.
Good. Cito Gatto says that the Tony Storm curse is real with Blake Monroe. I don't know about the mediocrity part, but like them not really, her never really getting a foothold.
Her being good, but not great.
Yeah, that whole.
Well, we'll see what happens on the main roster too. Like,
well, no, but I'm saying so far. We'll see what happens on the main roster.
I feel like the main roster just got real weird because you have like Matt Cardona coming back. And then you also have like all this NXT. You have AJ Lee coming back to, I'm guessing, win the title from Becky Lynch, the IC title. But then like you have people being like, who's Sol Ruka? You have like nobody in between right now that's getting appropriately cared for, which is a concern for the current roster. Yeah. But it also just creates this really weird juxtaposition of like people that we know very well because we cover the show and watch the show. But like unknowns being mixed in with like, well, here's 3 retirement tours. We hope you enjoy them. Like that's such a weird thing. Yeah. What a weird product at the moment. So I hope they figure out interesting ways to merge them because I don't know. You can't slap like a Stranger Things set on a Monday and call it a good day.
No.
Like
No.
That's not how that works at all.
So Tatum Paxley and Izzi Dame had their big grudge match.
They did. Tater tot.
I thought this was a respite from the chaos. I thought this was at the time. I was like, "Oh, great! We're gonna have a regular ass episode of NXT now," and they actually had Izzi and Tatum have a really good match. And I was watching Izzi, and I was like, she's really improved, and I could absolutely see her getting a real serious like main event level push on the main roster. She's tall, blonde, like there's a lot of really cool stuff that she does. She's powerful, got a great big boot, some really innovative maneuvers. I think she's grown a lot as a promo. There's a lot of cool stuff here, but obviously the fan favorite is Tatum. Tatum needs to win this feud. Izzy's out here without her cohorts. They said, we don't know. Big thing. Remember that they said this. We don't know where the rest of the culling is. Because later we knew where they were because we saw them on TV. But at this point, we didn't know where they were. So Tatum is able to hit a 450 splash at the end of this very hard-hitting match, and then the cemetery drive, and she gets the victory over Izzi. And that's the way it should be. Like, the babyface overcomes the adversity when her best friend turns on her, or who she thought was her best friend. Her best friend beats her in the first match with help from the other dastardly villains. And then, after having removed the numbers game from the equation, the babyface gets the victory. This is as wrestling should be. And remember, I said that for later.
You know what's so funny though? As a certified tater tot, okay, and I am. I took several courses to become one. I passed an exam. I am a certified tater tot. I was like, they took some very weird turns with this story, but I was like, you know what? They stuck the landing. I said to myself after having watched this match, I was like, the babyface won. She got revenge. This group might have to unfold their arms at some point because of the intimidation. I still thought it was weird that Izzy was like, no, you can't have the title, even though I want the title and I could fight you for the title. And I thought it was weird that Nico Vance took a respite that was unexplained. But I was like, that's a good way to tie that up, I said to myself, not knowing what we would get an hour later. But the match was really good. Like, I felt like for a long time in wrestling, and you could argue that this is still true. It's less true now than I think it used to be. But it was like you would have people that were really strong character-wise to compensate for the fact that they were average or maybe in some situations below average in the ring. Like, that's just the nature of wrestling, and certainly WWE's presentation leans toward that. You're not going to find that dynamic in like a New Japan probably, but
sure,
and then you have the opposite where it's like if you're a great worker, maybe you don't need such an overpowering character. I feel like Tatum Paxley has really, really nailed this cross section of being quite good in the ring. Like, I really like her in-ring style, and she pulls out some really cool moves. Like, I like that. And this character was a pivot away from, I mean, certainly from Speaker Water Bottle days, but like this character kind of came out of nowhere with a pretty risky vignette. And so what I love about it is like, I feel like the in-ring matches that character so well, and she performs it in the match as well. But like the move set accompanying this woman who's now bringing a chainsaw to the ring and stuff, like I really enjoy that aspect of it. And this was I had the same reaction you did about Izzi Jayne, where I was like, I thought this last week, but today especially, I think even more. Like, she's grown a lot. Like, I think for so long she was like one of the blonde NCAA athletes that we got, right? Like she didn't have a ton she didn't have a ton planned for her, and we didn't get a chance to see her blossom until this weird cult came along. And I think she has a different command than a lot of the women on the roster do, partly because of her size, but she does have a more of a presence about her than I initially saw with her. That's easy to say about, like, she has a certain command that the rest of the roster doesn't have when the entire roster just got called up at once. But
Yeah.
even with the roster ahead of today, she's really she's found an alley that really works for her. And she's a different kind of like big woman worker than like a Nia Jax or whatever. Like she's found a way to make things work for her really well. So I liked the match, and I really liked the way it wound up at the time.
Yeah.
1 hour later.
It ended up great at the time. It really did. Ava's this is absolutely a Muppet Show scene. Like, just it's a close up on Ava, and she goes, "You are the last person I want to talk to right now." Camera pans over. It's Ethan Page. It's absolutely Kermit and Fozzie or whatever. Yeah. Like, it's that. And he's like, "Well, obviously you're in a very bad mood, so I thought I would just tell you that I'm going to the ring to cut a promo." And she's like, "What's the catch?" The catch is that wasn't a scheduled thing, because you seem surprised by it, and you run this show, and there are several more matches to happen on the show, and also that segment will fry Alex's brain, so you don't want the segment to happen. That's the catch. And Ethan's like, "No catch, but hey, come on in, guys. This is the Vanity Project. We'll talk more about them later and how much I don't like them." So he's gonna kind of promo. I was just talking about that later. Right now, it's Jacy, Jayne, who's the discussions of possible call up discussions, and so
no air quotes journalist, our own guy.
I'm just saying discussions are different than a report, right? A report and a discussion of a report of a discussion. You know what I mean? There's difference.
We reported that there's discussions of her being called up as opposed to reporting a call up. Correct.
Right. Yeah. Like Blake Monroe was discussed and then said yes. And it seems like Jacy Jayne, at least for the time being, was discussed and then said no. At least for the time being is what it looks like now. But there's a difference. All I'm saying is this. There were a lot of people going into this that already thought that Kendal had a really good shot at winning.
Yes.
And then with the whole Jacy Jayne might be going up, they were like, "Oh, well, Kendall's definitely winning now." And Kendal showed during the match that she absolutely belonged at that level in the ring. I have hesitancy about her promos yet, but that's fine. It's NXT. But she absolutely shows she belonged in the ring. And this was a very good match. And then numbers games. Laney got involved. Fallon got involved. Ren tried to counter Fallon and got elbowed off the apron. And then I think I don't know if I've ever seen Kendal do it, but I haven't seen a lot of her matches. I think she was trying like an Oblivion on Jacy. Yeah. Like Jacy was standing up against the ropes, and then she did she's gonna jump into the ropes, bounce her butt off of it, and do a flatliner the way that Liv does the Oblivion.
but Fallon Henley reached up and grabbed the middle rope, which stopped that from happening somehow. I don't know how the physics work on that. Like, the rope is supposed to stay stationary. What you're supposed to do is reach up and grab your friend so that when she does the flatliner, she can't go anywhere. If you grabbing the rope does nothing, Fallon, but it didn't, whatever happened, the flatliner didn't work, and she landed on her back, and Jacy was fine, and the ref stood there and watched all of it. He literally did this. Like he didn't know what to do about it. And then Jacy hits her with the elbow and wins. And so Jacy perhaps does not get called up at this point. She has not yet left the belt in the middle of the ring. So not yet anyway. But Kendal had a lot of momentum, and everyone was like rooting for her, and seemed like all people like thinking, oh, this is her time. And then she lost. And I was like, oh, well, actually, that whole thing before where Izzy Dame lost because the story demanded it, that was so, I won't even say good, so normal professional wrestling that it felt out of place in NXT. This, building this thing where everybody wants the challenger to win, to put over the younger person, make a splash, do something cool, and they said, let's just stick with Jayne for a couple more months. That felt like regular NXT. It didn't feel good because, it would have been a cool splashy thing to do. And then, I don't know, does she vacate the Evolve title? There's a lot of call-ups coming from Evolve. Maybe somebody stays down there and is the new Evolve champion. I don't know, but none of that matters because she just lost. She lost because numbers game.
Call me John Cena because I'm here to ruin wrestling. If I were a referee, you're just not allowed to have friends out. Like, you're just not, ever. Mm-hmm. Especially if you have a repeated history. If you have a pattern of behavior that suggests this is going to happen all the time. This is, what was it? AEW 2 weeks ago now? And then this of referees just staring blatantly at interference. Just staring at it and doing absolutely nothing. Get it together, referees. Get it together, match agents. I can't with these WWE matches being baby faces on the main roster. Can you do anything but get your ass kicked and then pull out a victory at the end? Like, I'm so sick of it, man. Like, do something more creative that gives your wrestlers something to be inspired by too. Like, what if Jacy is starting to get a little cocky? Maybe she's like, you know what? This is my second title reign. I've got some of these under my belt. This Evolve kid, that's fine. I don't need you guys out here. I'm gonna prove to everyone who still says I'm a paper champion, right? Like, do something that is interesting and shake it up a little bit, because it's just I'm watching a rerun every week. That's a new episode. Like, that gets really, really, really old. Kendal Gray is great. Jayne is better than people are going to give her credit for. I'm so happy that she's in the call-up discussion pool because she's been here for like 6 years. She's much better than she's been allowed to be up until this year. I think because of this year and her knocking the opportunity that she got out of the park, even though it came out of left field, is probably why she's in these discussions, because she knows how to make things work. There's probably $1 million to be had between her and Chelsea Green or whatever. Like, there's ways to make it work. I am wondering, one, if they're going to finally implode that group, like if Fallon turns on her and wins the title, and two, and Alex,
like I said, I think all of them are dead in the water as singles. I think they need to be a group to have any level of success.
I think if anyone has a shot as a singles wrestler, and this is not a reflection of the other two, I think Jacy could, because ironically, they don't really have this archetype on the main roster right now, like, which is rare for them. Like, they don't have this, especially going into SmackDown if that's where she goes. But most importantly, Alex, we're talking about all these call-ups and whether people are saying yes or maybe you're having trouble getting called up. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Sometimes call-ups don't come so easily. Like, listen, not everybody just zooms through developmental. Not everybody's ready for the call-up, and sometimes they need a little help. That was a great Blue Chew segue. And just for that, I'm going to play the raunchiest ad Sean's ever cut.
We always talk about your mailman. He's the one delivering your packages, but you're just trying to deliver a package of your own. And we told you how BlueChew.com and the code FIGHTFUL can help you do that. Better sex, better in the bedroom, main event performance, all that good stuff. But listen, your mailman, whether your mailman's interested in you or interested in what's going on in that bedroom, he's going to be like, listen, I know this package arrives safe and discreetly. I haven't heard of you going to the doctor. I haven't heard anybody from the pharmacy saying that you've been there, but something's got to be going on. You got to be using some sort of performance booster, so to speak. And then you're going to have to fess up. You're going to say Blue Chew. And then that mailman's going to be like, hey, can you deliver by my back door? Do you got a special delivery for me? Maybe a little something for my mail slot? Listen, I'm just trying to help you out. I'm just trying to make you have that better performance. And Blue Chew is as well. We can't help with what the mailman does after that, but it's going to arrive safely and discreetly. But make life easier by getting harder. Discover your options at BlueChew.com. We got that special deal for listeners. Get that first month free. Just pay $5 shipping. God, hush money for the mailman. Visit BlueChew.com for important details and safety information.
That was an awesome segue. That was an awesome segue. Everybody else in the chat loves it. You're no fun.
I mean, isn't that what we've established so far?
It's not often that I like get you to take yourself off screen because of my segue. So we're starting off the new year right, okay?
Yeah.
Not New Year's Eve for me.
Yeah. So Ryan Cicchini says that Kendal and Jacy was trending to an early NXT TV match of the year until the finish. I guess Fallon didn't touch Kendal, LOL, and Louise watched it back for me, and apparently she did grab Jacy's trunks, but it looked to me like she had like one hand on the rope, and I guess the other hand was on Jacy's trunks or whatever. I don't know. It's a bad finish. Don't do this finish.
It's not great. It's a tired finish as well. Like My dad always says this, like, you can't complain that the food is bad and the portions are too small. But like, quite literally, I'm so sick of 6-minute matches that all look like this. Like, I want I want longer matches, and I also want them to look different than this. So I don't know, man. Like, it's and don't get me wrong, like I get that there's a formula that works even when I don't like it to the numbers game way to go about stuff, but you can play within that framework much more than they do.
Yeah. So again, that's fine. Later, the gals were backstage gloating about how they cheated to win again. And here comes Sol Ruca and Zarya, you keeping that title warm for me? Well, you don't have 2 belts anymore. Well, neither do you. I'm coming after that title. I thought you two were a tag team. So I don't know. Ryan Cicchini says that with all the call-ups, I see the title going to Sol and have her and Zarya spearhead, stand and deliver. No pun intended, I'm assuming. But yeah,
she's
sure,
going up too.
sure. Like they're probably all going up. Sol Ruka did the thing at Saturday Night's Main Event. Like unless the whole point of her staying is to make her the NXT Women's World Champion, like we're calling everybody else up, so we need somebody to anchor down there. So obviously you're tremendous and we love you and we want you on the main roster, but you need to be the top woman in NXT, and then we're going to feud you with Zarya, like is a really good feud that we've been waiting for a while. Like that, like almost kind of makes sense if Sol is the women's version of Ricky Saints. Like you got to stick around because we got nothing else. You know what I mean? And I think that could be good because you really can't completely plunder the cupboard. You have to be able to have something left over.
Especially because it's a TV show on a network. This is not the WWE network. Like they need to have some draws around. So I guess it's so hard having seen Delta Brady and having been such a big fan of hers before. I was on the God, that sounds so hipstery. So please no, I don't mean to sound like I'm like from Brooklyn.
Her early stuff was better. You can say it.
Her early stuff was better.
Her early stuff was better.
I was like signed Delta Brady before it was cool to like her.
Right.
I was like signed Delta Brady before she was conquering brick walls that were on top of mountains. You know what I mean?
This guy, I sometimes watch his stuff where he goes to garage sales and flea markets and gets a bunch of stuff and then does like, here's my haul or whatever. He was like going through all of these 105 records that he bought for they were all in really good condition. And he was like, here's Rubber Soul and Zeppelin 4 and then something from My Chemical Romance. And I was like, how does that fit in my brain? He's like, oh, say what you want about My Chemical Romance. They're a great band. I actually saw them play in a little venue, about 100 people. So I saw them. They were opening for another band. So I was in on the train early, and I was like, "Good for you." Unsubscribe, but like it's fine. I
guess I'm just waiting for like if they were going to blue balls this split even more, Alex.
Yeah.
Like where is Zelta's moment of reflection where she's like, you know what? What if her jealousy was misplaced and she's like, I gotta carve my own path. And she just started squashing bitches. And then she's going for the world title while Sol has anything but or what, you know what I'm saying? Like
so we're
I just
about to
see
get into another thing that is happening that I thought was an opportunity for her to do something. They did something so unspeakably dumb. And I thought maybe they were going to do something interesting and like there's a reason for why they're doing what they're about to do with the Women's North American title. I thought perhaps that Zelta would answer the open challenge completely out of the blue and we backstage cut to like during the match, a bunch of people gathered around the TV and Sol walk in and say, have you seen Zarya? She's in the ring right now fighting for the Women's North American Championship. And Sol be like, what? And like that could like, and she wins, and that becomes this big betrayal moment with Sol or whatever. That like I thought maybe we were gonna do that. Like the way that when Jacy says to them, I thought you were a tag team. And then Zarya's like, yeah. Maybe if Sol does win the world championship, that is the last straw for Zarya. Like I thought we were supposed to be a tag team. And you doing this, you just keep winning all these singles things. We don't ever actually bear down and go for the tag titles. We've had the title shots, but immediately after that, you go immediately for the singles champion. And now you're the world champion. And so, yeah, I want my title shot. And like maybe that's where we get it. Like
I think that if you were to call up Zarya right now, like as just like gentle lady biker taker, like it's not. I don't think that's good. I think we need to see her as the lady who climbs mountains so that then she can punch brick walls. During an apocalypse, I need to see that lady in NXT before she moves up. Okay?
I just have such faith that she's a force to be reckoned with. And we've gotten glimpses of like seeing her spears and her F5s. Like I just think she's such a special talent. And I think she could, and not just because she's Australian and a powerhouse, but like I believe her ceiling is like Rhea Ripley levels of success. I don't want to associate her with people that have since we're on the main channel, I'll say certainly some character issues in their corner. So I don't want to like compare her to Brock Lesnar, but I think if they let her show out, she could be like a freak athlete in the same type of way. We'll say like young Shelton Benjamin-y, I guess. Like where you're just like, how does someone like her do all that stuff? So I just want to see it. I just want to see it. I also just want to see her and Jordan Grace fight each other for 6 months. That's just what I want.
Yeah.
That'd be neat. 102 photo says, just have Zelda wreck people already. I think that's where I'm at. I'm like, can we see her do the thing? I just want to see her do the thing.
Yeah.
Where she destroys people.
Would be great. Would be great. Okay, I'm gonna do a lot of the other things that make no sense before we get to the thing that made the least sense, and then the main event. So we're gonna do all, because there's only 2 more matches left. So we're gonna talk about very quick thing. Joe Hendry wants Dion Lennox. Give me the leader of Dark State. Give me Dion Lennox. Like, no, I'm sorry. He is the top lieutenant. Why isn't Shaquan Sugars the leader of Dark State? Why? After a year of them being on TV together, how do you not see that Shaquan Sugars is the obvious should-be leader of this fucking faction? Anyway, says, give me Dion Lennox. It's like, well, if I'm, he says, and give me them in a no disqualification. They ruined my song last week. So give me Dion Lennox in a no disqualification. Like, if I give you him in a no DQ match, it's a bunch of them. It's just gonna lead to a 4-on-1 handicap match. And I wanted Joe Hendry to be like, well, you're the GM. Ban them from the building. Ban them from ringside. Ban them from the building. Levy a decree. If any member of the 3 of the rest of Dark State get involved, they will all be levied a heavy fine, and Dark State will be stripped of the tag titles. Any of those things are things you, as the general manager, have the power to do. Like, I'm sorry, I would book you in a no DQ match, but once I do that, I'm powerless to enforce any rules. Oh, wait, I banned Blake Monroe from the building earlier, so it seems like I can enforce rules that I come up with. Why have you written Ava to be so bad at her job? To so selectively terrible at her job? He says, but anyway, Joe Hendry says, I'm going to go find 2 badasses. And those 2 badasses will counter the 3 badasses. Well, 2 badasses and Cutler, whatever his last name is. And so he goes and says, OTM, will you please be my backup for this match? And OTM says, I never even met you before. Why would I do that? And Joe Hendry patiently explains to 2 dum-dums that if you get involved with Dark State, you say, all we want in 2026 is those he said, they do say, I'm quoting, them tag team titles. And he says, well, guess who happens to be carrying those tag team titles right now? It's Dark State. And if you get involved with them, you'll probably be one step closer to having a shot at the tag team titles. And they were like, say less.
no, actually, I did say less, and you needed me to say more, and then I did. So thank you for agreeing to be my backup for next week. And now I'm done talking about this storyline, and now you can.
What can I say that you and Brian Alvarez haven't already said about Ava? But it is frustrating as a viewer, and it is frustrating when it happens so much in the same episode. Like, I put my foot on the gas really hard about this, and then I barely touch it when it's about something else is like a very annoying thing. And I don't like how it affects the program because she's a general manager, but it also sucks for her character. Like that frustrates me too, is like, how is she as a performer supposed to like grow when you're giving her different scripts within the same episode of who she is? That just like really handicaps her and handcuffs her as someone that's supposed to be like an authority figure around here. So I don't like that aspect of it either. Joe Hendry having to be like, so 2 + 2 does in fact equal 4 is something else. And man, I'm so I guess I'm not. I shouldn't be surprised that something in the TNA NXT relationship doesn't make sense. But like, we didn't get nearly enough tag crossover, I feel like, but I guess this has always been how I've looked at cross promotional relationships. When you have two promotions that are going to work together, you have the opportunity to say, okay, right now, these are my weaknesses and these are my strengths. And the other promotion can say, these are my weaknesses and these are my strengths. And they can match up what's a strength of one and what's a weakness of the other. When TNA and AEW paired together, I was like, oh, the AEW women's division needs so much help, and you have the freaking knockouts division. This is going to be so great. They did nothing. I was so frustrated. And I don't know a ton about the TNA tag division, but I'm assuming they have teams, which is a big step up for like a lot of where NXT, especially like OTM's off and running now. But at the time, this division was very, very weak. Hank and Tank weren't back. So I thought we'd be getting more mixing up in that. They chose not to do that. That's fine. That's up to them. But this tag division, I guess I'll intend my puns because I'm not a coward. But this tag division still feels very in the mud. And I guess with a team like OTM, I'm like, why haven't they just crushed 6 guys? Like 6 teams rather to work the right, like their characters are so cool and they're so intimidating and they've grown so much in the ring into like the badasses they are, and that finisher is nasty that I'm like, if you just showed me just them just doing that finisher 4 to 6 times against other teams, it can be teams from Evolve, whatever. Yeah. But like just support the things that you're saying for your characters with in-ring acumen that matches it. Saquon Sugars is the leader of Dark State. I don't know what the hesitation is in letting that guy just show out. We saw it against Javon. Anybody who's followed his indie work, I can't even say I follow his indie work, but I saw enough of it to know this guy's great. Right. Like just let him blossom. That's all.
But give him promo time. He's electric on the stick. Why are we not?
So good.
Anyway, so that was that. Now Ethan Page comes to the ring to cut a promo about how great he is and how he's the best champion in the world, and whatever. He is interrupted somehow by Jasper Troy, who has fashioned his Jacob Marley chain into a very large necklace, and the pendant hanging from the bottom of the necklace is the Speed title. And he comes in and says, why are you acting like you're the only NXT champion that matters? And I'm saying, well, Jasper, because you are the Speed champion, and that does not matter. They had a whole ass tournament about it, and I thought that
during that it was the match with Tavion was going to be tonight because you only need 5 minutes for that maximum. But no, they only put 4 matches on the 2-hour card. They had 5. They actually no, they only because the one that got postponed actually did happen later. So there were only 4 matches booked for New Year's Eve. So anyway, Ethan doesn't want to piss off Jacob Marley, so he is interrupted. He's, I'm the best big man on the roster, he says, and then Briggs comes out. We haven't seen Briggs in a month.
It's been a bit. That was kind of okay. Like, in a time with a bunch of pre-tapes, and he'd been working so consistently. Like, I'm all for people taking like breathers like that. That's fine.
But I mean, like there's been anyway. The last I think we saw of him was where he beat Tavion Heights after they fought each other because neither of them were in the Iron Survivor.
Right.
And so that goes back to early December, so about a month. And then Tavion Heights after that was able to rebound after losing to Josh Briggs. He was able to rebound and win the tournament to become the next Speed #1 contender. And Josh Briggs was off television. So does it not feel weird to you? Because it feels weird to me that you would have this little mini feud that Josh Briggs and Tavion Heights hate each other and they come to blows whenever they are within 500 yards of each other. And then neither of them are selected to be in the Iron Survivor. And so they both blame each other for that. And then they have a match about it. And the winner off television. And the loser then wins a tournament to become the #1 contender for the Speed title. Like, not that is important, but it's better than being off TV for a month. I don't know if he was nicked up or whatever. I'm just saying that NXT does this habitually. They have somebody win something, and I would say, well, that gives them momentum to go on and do more, and then they just take them off TV. But the loser then goes on and does stuff. That happens all the time. So anyway, Josh Briggs is like, I'm a better big man than you, Jasper. I'm a better wrestler than both of you. And hold on, it's Ethan Page now. So anyway, he comes in, they're yelling at each other. And then I believe the next person that comes out is Stax and Ariana Venti. Ariana Venti dressed to wrestle for some reason. I don't know. But hold on, now we have unfinished business. I want whatever the title thing is that you got there, the mixed tag thingies in Triple A, and so it was this revolving door thing. Everybody showed up. Everybody wants to talk in this segment, and then I believe the next one was Shiloh Hill. As Shiloh Hill came out without fog. Like honestly, I do not want to see you unless you are bringing fog or fog accessories. Or like the lore of the fog that you are delivering in a promo. No fog, no Shiloh Hill. That is my mandate now till the end of time. If you're not bringing fog with you, Shiloh Hill, I don't want none.
You have to address the fog at least. I hate segments like this, Alex. I don't like revolving door segments. I'll say this. They're a great way to fill time on a show that is erratic. So I get that. Jasper Troy's a good example to me of like, and in full understanding that NXT is a developmental program. But there are layers to this, Alex. And I think Jasper Troy has so much potential. I think you're doing him a disservice by putting him on TV before that potential is a little more complete than it is now, because his character is one that is so intimidating. And if you put a guy that's not ready out there that's supposed to be intimidating, it doesn't click. And I can't say he's doing anything wrong. He's just new with this, but I just don't believe what he's saying yet. And I also think putting the most bitch ass title on him in the world, well, I get it, but like I can't be intimidated by anyone who's got a Speed title. Like I'm just not.
Like
With a guy like that, I don't think we should be doing tournaments, quote unquote tournaments, of Final Four that you create to create a new number one contender. He should be doing, I'm saying, weekly, literally weekly, open challenges. Let Evolve kids come in and answer him if you want.
Sure.
But he beats everybody inside of 2 minutes, not of 3 minutes. He beats everyone inside of 2 minutes, beats most of them inside of 1 minute. And he does it every week and looks really intimidating doing it. And then one guy, I don't know who it is, lasts all 3 minutes. Doesn't pin him, but doesn't beat him inside of the 3 minutes. And then makes Jasper Troy lose his mind. And then eventually that's the dude who ends up beating him for the title. Why is that so easy to do? And yet none of them like why is he coming in and saying he wants the North American title? Like, you put the speed title on him to have him not defend it, except for after you do weeks of programming to get him a number one contender. But also belt's not good enough for him. He wants another one.
Alex, I bet that everybody in the chat is like, Kate's got to be so mad that she already used her Blue Chew segue because you're talking about lasting 3 minutes and not even lasting 2 minutes. Hell, not even lasting 1 minute. Yeah. I bet that everyone is like thinking that.
I bet.
But they underestimate me, Alex.
Yeah.
Because I turned it into a betting segue. That's right. We're gonna tell you all about my bookie AG because you can bet on wrestling. Now, comically, I saw something today from, if you follow the financial advisor Dave Ramsey, or if you don't, he's wormed his way into the pop culture zeitgeist and meme and gift territory. But he was talking about how sports gambling is the devil's work, and I just want to say, we're here to support that kind of evil, okay? Because we think that you should bet on wrestling because you can make yourself some money, okay? And head over to my bookie AG. Sean Ross Sapp is going to tell you all about it, but you can bet on wrestling, and we encourage you to do so. We encourage you to bet responsibly, but do so with my bookie AG.
At my bookie AG, they say that you can bet on anything, anytime, anywhere, and they mean it. NBA, NHL, NFL, Major League Baseball, UFC, pro wrestling. But that's not it. Motorsports, golf, tennis, darts, cycling, cricket, handball, floorball, rugby, snooker, volleyball, table tennis, cycling. Yeah, you can bet on it. At my bookie AG, they got the best support system in the business. We only want you to bet what you can, and please bet responsibly. But go take advantage of being able to bet on anything, anytime, anywhere. They got live esports. They got racing. They got everything at MyBookie AG. And right now, get a $50 bonus when you deposit $100 or a $100 bonus when you deposit $200. You can bet with Bitcoin and play their great casino games as well. MyBookie AG.
Thank you, Allie, for this. I love you, sports gambling. Support the devil's work. Bet responsibly. But you know what it is? Like, I was just talking about Dave Ramsey with that. He does name a different betting platform as a gateway to hell.
That one is the devil.
That one probably isn't
Ours
great.
is not.
But I think he just doesn't know his floorball odds. And I think that's where he's getting tripped up about all of this. So head over to MyBookie AG. But we love our sponsors. We have all of them supporting us through 2026. So, or at least I can't speak to the length of the deals. I know going into 2026, they're all staying on board with us. And based on Alex's whole face, I'm hopeful that they're going to stay with us through the entire year. So thank you for that. Another quick plug for Fightful Select. It's been a loaded week already. So I did just want to point out that we are the best $5.99 in the biz, but we had all this NXT news for you up there. Of course, news about Blake Monroe being there, the Jayne news, of course, that she's being discussed for a call up, but some details on the Blake Monroe situation, Jordan Grace being properly done with NXT. But we had news about Chris Jericho as well. There was nothing indicating within AEW that Chris Jericho was going to be available for Monday Night Raw, and he sure as heck did not show up unless he was a part of the Stranger Things set and we all missed it. I don't know, but there were some news as well about some AEW departures, which is never fun. You never want to see people's contracts cycle out if they aren't able to pick up another opportunity. So to those talent, we wish them the best moving forward. Some people are like fantasy booking and Alex Abrahantes reunion in WWE. I don't think we've heard anything about that, but maybe Penta says will revive itself at some point, since they're never going to put him with his brother ever again, it seems like. But lots going on Fightful Select. Contract news is like Sean's favorite thing in the world, and the cycles for New Japan and are coming up and have been, and CMLL. There's a lot going on in the wrestling free agent world. So get it first, get it accurately on FightfulSelect.com. That's it. We can talk about the show.
Okay. Shiloh comes in and says to Stacks that I hope I didn't ruin your Christmas. Well, me and a friend of mine who's no longer part of my life, whatever her name was, the one who won LFG with me. But I already talked to Ava and your father-in-law, and I'm getting a shot at the international title next week on Tuesday against you, and they already are doing a match for that title this weekend. So I guess we already know Stacks is winning that.
Sure seems it.
That's fun. And then Tavion Heights shows up, and I just thought, let's empty the entire locker room. Why not?
I've seen the clip.
He says he's coming in, and he's I'm blah blah blah. I'm coming for the speed title. I'm gonna beat you up. And then Ethan Page is like, I don't know why you're letting him talk like that to you, big man. Because last I saw from you, Tavion, last time you stepped up to a title, you lost. And then all of a sudden it devolves into a big brawl, and it's a big brawly brawl. And then eventually Ariana Venti tries to slap Shiloh, and he catches her wrist and then pulls her in to do a tango or something very fancy. And he dips her, and the crowd goes, ooh, yay, kissing. And he, instead of kissing, his retainer with his one tooth falls out of his mouth onto her boobs. and she reacts like she's being attacked by a demogorgon, and she runs away, and it's dumb. All of this is dumb and bad. And if this is the mid card going forward, we are going to have lots of problems.
So there's a few things with this. One, I think the whole point of this segment was to establish, like, hey, this is the mid card, since the entire top of the card just got called up. So I understand the intention behind it. I never like these revolving door promos. There very few of them, if any, have ever like gotten me interested in anything. I feel like, non-fog aside, like Shiloh Hill posting that he got his teeth fixed on social media and then going out and doing that, like, I kind of love this dude. And if essentially a denture fell on my boobs, I would probably react the same way. That's not the best. But the problem is, well, a few things. For a while, and this is something they've adjusted to their credit, like, it has felt like this show was so crowded for way too long with like Speed, Evolve, TNA, all these things. I've been on a soapbox about that for too long. But this is the problem with like Jasper Troy being in this picture when he has the Speed title. Like, those kinds of things are tough. It's a symptom that is rampant across. This is the flu that's going around, has nothing on titleitis and American television having way too many titles. And if you watch Sean, you've heard this enough. And I can't even say American because New Japan, they're straightening theirs out, but they do this all the time. They straighten them out and then they muck them up again. So hopefully the Go Ace Tanahashi professional era gets rid of that over there too. But it's one of those things that immediately dilutes the importance of one title. Not that the speed title was so important, but if the person holding the title says, I don't care about it, I care about the one you have, immediately you've told me that title is less important. The other issue with this segment is none of these people have any business being near Ethan Page for the title shot. These guys don't have wins. They don't have history with Ethan. Like none of these guys do. So if the point of this segment is to say, this is what our mid card looks like right now, that's fine. But you now have to do the work to have some of these guys get wins, because this is just a collection of guys with no throne to a title shot of any sort, or really like interactions with Ethan Page even. But I get that they have to now go and clarify those things. I hope Tavion Heights emerges. Miles Bourne is in a segment that we're about to get into here. But the other aspect of this is you now have a heel Ricky, a heel Ethan. I feel like Miles Bourne was kind of on the next up tier, and he's a heel. So you got to establish some faces in particular that are, because Javon's gone. Like they have to go.
Whatever Tony D is not a baby face. So like Tony D being here is he's whatever he is not a baby face.
Right. So I think Tavion Heights is your best.
Yeah.
Tavion Heights is your best shot because he's been somewhat unestablished, and I think people find him very likable. So that's what I would do.
But that's not good enough. Tavion Heights being your best shot at a baby face means your brand is dead. If he was your third best shot at a baby face, maybe. Your top baby face on the men's side being Tavion Heights, that's not good.
Who could they pull from the main roster as a Band-Aid? I'm trying to think, like, who's not being utilized. Julius Creed.
I'm telling you, that ain't much better on the microphone. If you're your top baby face, you got to be able to cut promos.
Yeah.
Like I like Tavion, but he's not ready to be that guy yet. You know what I mean? Like, and you know, like I mean, unless Julius has been taking promo classes for the past 3 years when he wasn't on television wrestling, maybe then
Jericho will be it. That's good.
Yeah, Jericho's going to be the top baby face. Yeah, for sure. That's it. Joe Hendry's going to SmackDown, right? And didn't we all decide this? Was that not reported by us?
I don't think it was reported by us. I do think it was reported by PW Insider, who's usually very good with these things.
I mean, honestly, third time's the charm.
No, like, do it. Whatever.
If everybody in the Judgment Day is injured, he cut a hell of a babyface promo on during a commercial break on Raw last week or the week before. Like, he talked about we're fondly remembering going back to Orlando where he did all of his stuff. Like, sure, I guess.
I want to see it because it was kind of like Shayna. Like, Shayna even did some NXT Underground matches in the 2.0 era, and I was like, she's still a different beast in NXT, whatever. So
they did do a vignette or a
vignette.
But because this guy is French, I think we have to say vignette.
That's
because he's French. He's a French masked luchador. He is Le Grande Parisiano. Listen, you put another white guy in another damn mask, and I'm gonna lose it. Okay, I know he has been wrestling under a mask for 3 years, but there's too many damn white guys under luchador masks. There's just too many of them. And I'm sure this guy is great. and I'm gonna watch.
And
enjoy
any of
watching
them
him
are
do stuff.
Pete Dunne and Tyler Bate.
It's just there's just too many.
Pete Dunne and Tyler Bate being two of them is not great. So that's the bigger problem for me. If this is how he came in, that's one thing. Yeah, they've got some. They have some replenishing to do. I think there's, like, I'm wondering what, like, Jack Cartwheel is a baby face and exciting and would be like a shot in the arm. You know what I mean? Like, where are certain people? I don't follow Evolve. I'm not going to pretend to, but I'm familiar with some of the talent there just because I've seen them, you know, in Jack Cartwheel's case on ROH and the Indies and whatever. So Sean Legacy certainly seems like he's cooked, like in a good way, cooked like
right.
The bell rung. He's ready to come out now, not cooked in a bad way. So they have some work to do because the way you just phrased it, like Tavion Heights is their best shot. He's not even. I don't know how to describe it, but like we just haven't even seen that many promos from him. Honestly, like it's just not there. So
right, like the inner guy that seemed to be ready on Evolve, it looks like he's going to become the new Evolve champion because they are bringing up the Vanity Project.
Yes,
and they the Jackson Drake is the Evolve champion. He's going to be on NXT. They advertised tonight that on Evolve tomorrow he's defending the title against Sean Legacy. Sean Legacy is a guy I would say, yeah, bring him up. He'd be one of the top 3 baby faces in NXT starting next week after everybody gets called up, except for the fact that, you know, he's probably winning that title and staying in Evolve. So, but then again, they had a whole thing for Kendal Gray, like a whole storyline for her on NXT while she was the Evolve champion, and she's going to stay there at least for a while, still being the Evolve champion. So, like, it's like literally just a whole bunch of just things floating back and forth between NXT and TNA and Evolve and the main roster for a bit and then back down and all this kind of stuff. And I can't keep anything together. And so I'm crashing out. It's crashing out. Listen, I know that the dude, whatever his name is, Le Grande Parisiano, I don't know what his actual name is. I can't pronounce it, whatever it is, because I didn't take French. I know when I do this accent, it sounds like perhaps I do speak French, but I do not.
Extremely authentic, yeah.
So I don't know what it is. I think it's great that this is his actual thing, that he wrestles under a mask. He's not pretending to be a Mexican like so many others. But the problem is I just can't. I see him and I associate. It's my fault. It's my fault. I'm crashing out. So here's the next thing that I'm going to Ethan Page walking backstage sees Miles Bourne talking to somebody. He comes up and he's like, "Hey, you! Why weren't you out there? Don't you want to be a champion? Haven't the things that I have said to you meant nothing to you?" And then, when he talks to Miles Bourne, there's a little chyron on the bottom that says Ethan Page, Miles Bourne, Tate Wilder. And if you had told me that Tate Wilder was a NASCAR driver or a professional rodeo bull rider or a professional bass fisherman, I would have believed all of those things before I believed that Tate Wilder is apparently a wrestler on Evolve, because they've never mentioned him before. He wasn't in gear. He was just wearing like a random, like a golf. You know what? I would have probably said, what does this guy do? He's on the PGA Tour, because the little white baseball cap he was wearing looked like a golfing cap. Please introduce these people as who they are before you expect me to know who the hell Tate Wilder is. Apparently Ethan Page knows who Tate Wilder is, but it'd be great if you introduced him in some way other than just hanging around talking to Miles Bourne.
I've seen some of his independent stuff. He's very good. All fair. I need to know. Is he related to Dash Wilder?
He's Dash Wilder's second cousin by marriage.
Is he? Yeah, that's what I want to hear. Is he? I used to say, well, before I was in my podcasting days, this is how I knew I was destined for this life. Why walk calmly when you could dash wilder? I need to know. Also, somebody said like, Chase, you just saved the mid card. Ponytail mustache, breakout star.
Breakout star 2026, ponytail mustache. Tim saying that I need to learn French because the commentary is so much better. I mean, the show still sucked. At least it was no Booker T, so I'll take it. Man, Booker is on one. That dude can't like. We're gonna talk about it in a little bit, but I'll forget if I don't mention it right now. He said of Oba Femi, you know the thing that he does where he goes, no bread, no water, just me. Like he says, he was doing like the I don't know, the football color guy like cadence where he was like, you look at this guy, Oba Femi, no bread, just no water, just meat. He threw it in as
now
though
here's a guy who's no bread, no water, just meat.
You look at this guy, no bread, no water, just meat. He's a generational talent, no bread, no water, just meat. I don't know, he does the thing where he says that somebody is like the wind. You can feel them, you can't touch them, but you know they're there. It's a Patrick Swayze song from Dirty Dancing. It's it does not apply to everyone that you see wrestle. Like it can't, it just can't. Not everyone is like the wind.
To your point about, or to that's point about you learning French better. I think it means white eagle because his name was like.
Yeah,
something.
Aigle Blanc.
Aigle Blanc.
Blanc.
We pretty much nailed it. I don't know why you're trying to correct us.
So, okay, backstage.
Alex.
Thea Hale getting checked out by. She's in the trainer's room. Jordynne Grace, new SmackDown superstar. Jordynne Grace standing there. Here Ava comes in and says how impressive it was that she stepped up to Jade Cargill. Is it? What's Jade Cargill done? Name me 3 things she's done since she became the champion. Because I know one thing. She injured Michin and bragged about it. But like that's the only thing that I can think about.
She has also told people that she's that bitch several times.
Yeah, she has also professed the nature of her bitchness. And it's that.
It is.
So, anyway.
No, she said the title 60 days and never defended it.
Yeah. Thank you. So, super impressive you stepped up to that person. Anyway, Ava says, Thea, we're not doing this thing. No, I have to. I have to do I have to have this match. No, I've already banned Blake from the building. So she's gone. She's not having the match. But I have to have the match against somebody. Let's reinstitute the North American Title Open Challenge. Let's do that. Come on, can we do that? Thea, you're hurt. I'm not doing it. And Jordynne says, Ava, she's made her choice. She's a grown-ass woman. Let her do this. She doesn't say the middle part, but basically she does. So Ava's like, all right, I'm the general manager and I have no pull here. I guess you get to do whatever you want.
Here's the thing. She's done stuff like that before, but she's said the words, you know what? You're the champion. I'm going to let you decide your fate on that. Mm-hmm. So just keep that consistent. You know what I mean? Just like even things like that. Cause I feel like it's such, I feel like she's handcuffed as far as what she could do. Like, I know we joke about it, but like Twitter Ava being absolutely hilarious. I'm like, that means her personality's in there, and you've kind of assigned this. The wishy-washiness of it all is a disservice to what her potential could be, I think, and I don't like that.
So Thea, injured, hurt badly, by Blake Monroe, is foolhardy and naive, and a little bit of hubris. And needy. She has to prove to herself and everybody else she really is good enough to be a champion. A little hubristic because she thinks she can,
naive, thinking this is not going to go badly for her, and foolhardy in that she has no self-preservation. When you do all of those things as a wrestling character, you go out and you receive a comeuppance. We talked about little comeuppance that need to be received last night. This is a perfect opportunity for that to happen. With literally any other person on the roster but the person that they picked. Because
God, Zari would have been such a good call, man. That would have been so good.
I'll tell you who I thought of first that would have been a much better call than what they went with. I'll tell you that in a second. So here we go. She goes out, she could barely stand, let alone do her crazy, like, I'm hype, I'm very high on caffeine. As I walk to the ring and I'm very crazy. She can't do any of that. She can barely walk. She barely stand. She gets to the ring. She's on all fours cutting a promo about how important it was that she defend the title tonight to prove to everybody that it wasn't a fluke that she won. So first woman who gets in the ring, come on, let's do the open challenge. And a dozen women in full wrestling gear come halfway down the ramp and are blocked by security.
Pick a format.
So I'm sorry. Hold on. This is where I really lose it. So everybody watch as I do this, because you need to look. You need to be able to see into my eyes as I start to lose this.
Can't because the
okay. This is what we're doing. Okay. All right. She's having an open challenge. The format of the open challenge is the first woman who could get into the ring gets the challenge. And the bunch of security people stop all the wrestlers from getting into the ring. How does that make sense? How does that make sense? You said she could have the open challenge. You said she could have the open challenge. She says first one that gets in the ring, and then you send out a bunch of security people to stop all the ladies from getting in the ring. One of them was Wendy Chu, not dressed like a sleep paralysis demon. We could have had Wendy Chu, real Wendy, friggin' Karen Q could have made her debut tonight, but the security people stopped her. You know who else they stopped was the person that I thought would have been a great shout, because she was the Evolve champion. She lost that. She's been hanging around backstage, but hasn't had any real wrestling time. Callie Armstrong is great. She's really, really good. She's the one who breaks through all these women, and she gets into the ring and she ruins Thea Hale to announce herself as the new NXT North American Women's Champion. And she becomes this thing that women have to. She becomes the Lady Mountain that no woman can climb. Like, it's a really easy thing to do. That would have been great. Literally any of the women standing there would have been great. But then they all part. Everyone, just like the Red Sea, they all part. And behind them is Tatum Paxley, who then turns on the chainsaw.
Alex,
you have to turn on the chainsaw first. They hear the sound. They hear where it's coming from. They turn around. They back away. There she is. And she runs to the ring. Does she then, as she gets to the ring, does she dive into the ring? No, she stops and turns around and does a Seth Rollins with a title belt with a chainsaw. She does this thing around her head, which is not you answering an open challenge. And also, why would Tatum Paxley do an open challenge? Like, she already won her match tonight. You have won. There are only 4 matches. Why would somebody have a match twice? I said to myself. And then it was worse, because not the person who won one of the other 3 matches only 2 of which had already happened. So presumably neither Oba nor Leon Slater would be eligible to win this title. So there were only 2 matches prior. So my thing would be none of the women who were in either of those matches should be eligible to be a challenger for the North American title, because that's fucking stupid. But at least if it was Tatum, she would have been coming off a victory earlier tonight. But instead, Izzi Dame came into the ring from behind and knocked over Thea Hale, and she gets to be the challenger for the North American Championship. Coming off a loss earlier tonight. Coming off of 2 losses. Because as we see later, Lola Vice reminds us that she lost to Lola Vice before she had this match with Tatum. She's coming off of 2 straight losses. So coming off of 2 straight losses and also having lost tonight, she is a loser. So Thea Hale, let's do the whole through line. Blake Monroe's a dum-dum for attacking Thea Hale and injuring her on purpose and thinking she would be rewarded with the title belt she has so sought. First person to make look bad in this thing. Thea Hale looks bad for being a dum-dum and actually wanting to have this match again because she's a dum-dum. Like you have the night off, you could figure out a way to do this.
Well, dumb.
It's valiant babyface bullshit. Valiant babyface bullshit is dumb. So anyway, so then what does she do? She ends up losing the match. So she looks bad that way. So she didn't ever actually defend the fucking title that she won by a fluke. Did she win by a fluke? Yes. Do we want to make sure that she looks like she won by even more flukier measures? Yes, we want that as well. So we're going to have her lose this match. And also, Tatum Paxley looks like a dum-dum because Tatum Paxley had an opportunity to get into the ring and answer the challenge, and presumably she would have beaten dum-dum Thea Hale, but she didn't because she had to be a dum-dum and swing the chainsaw around. And Izzi Dame lost 2 matches in a row and then won this match, taking advantage of somebody who had already been injured, so she looks less than. Everybody involved in this angle looks worse than they did going into the angle. That is a Yahtzee.
This is a good point. Oba randomly destroying Thea Hale and taking his title. That would have been great. Thank you to Greg Cherry who donated for Alex's therapy because of this episode. There's a crucial thing here, and I'm going to talk about what I feel about this whole open challenge situation and the women involved in just a moment. But Alex, first of all, the disco balls just sliding down your head, incredible television.
Mm-hmm.
Like I if you were like, are you enjoying the show? I'm enjoying that. I'm enjoying this part of the show. The second thing is, and you might say, Kate, this is quite a nitpick. Yes, it is.
Mm-hmm.
Alex, if you got hired as security, even if you were an indie wrestler that got hired as security for night,
Yeah.
do you think it's more important to prevent women from getting to an open challenge match that they're entitled to go for, or to prevent somebody with a chainsaw from breaking through a crowd of women and heading to the ring? I feel like on the list of security priorities, chainsaw should be ahead of making sure women don't get to an open challenge that they've been invited to try and challenge for. I was appalled by the fact if they just didn't have security guards in this segment, it would have been so much better. I don't get why. I understand why they did it from the Thea Hale perspective. If the original creative was Thea can't win anything, and they want her to go through this arc of doubting herself. I lost my title because I got over ambitious. They're right back on track with what they were planning to do for Thea Hale. Like, if all that being hypothetical.
Yes.
Her being a young accidental champion and getting ahead of herself, she does look dumb, but like that at least from a character perspective kind of checks out. Jordan Grace being like, let her do it is stupid. If your friend is like, go out there injured and put up an open challenge, you're a shitty friend. Jordan, sorry. As far as all the options to answer the open challenge, Kaylee Armstrong certainly would have been interesting. What this absolutely didn't need to be a vehicle for was a story that had just wound up and a story that was continuing. Like
we now know that the next North American Women's Champion is going to be Tatum Paxley.
Right, who still hasn't won a singles match in like
who still hasn't won she won a singles match tonight against Izzi Dame.
Oh, that's right. Okay.
And so that's
the clock resets at midnight, which has of course just happened. Happy New Year.
Just happened. It's now Happy New Year, everybody. Happy New Year. Yeah. Obviously, New Year's Evil has now gone into New Year's Good, and so New Year's Good is everything that happened last night was evil. It's a new year, it's a new day, it's a new me. New Year's Good. So it's fine. Like Tom LaValle recommends that I take a baby aspirin. Like I have a lot of those in the house just in case. It's a great prophylactic option to prevent an aneurysm. Listen, I'm not gonna put a baby aspirin in a condom and swallow it. I haven't done that since college. So you can keep that away from me.
I just also want to say, like, Tom LaValle, you've been a part of this community for a while. Don't come in here acting like a rookie. You've seen way worse Alex rants than that. Like you've seen some shit. I'll put it that way. Okay. You've been behind the paywall with us. No, that's very funny. I just feel like there at the end of this episode, for example, Ava says these people got called up, and while it impacts our product with their loss, it also is an opportunity for new people to shine through, which I think could have been true. I don't know where Jada Parker is, by the way. I thought for sure like she would have been a layup for this too.
Maybe she's dinged up.
Yeah, I'm gonna ask. Let me write a note to see if Sean can find out about that, because that seemed like, oh, that would be a cool return spot for her if she.
That'd be amazing. Like that would be great. Like she seems like a person who's been like ready for a title reign at some point somewhere. Anything would be better than Izzi Dame, who already lost tonight.
Yeah, and a story that wound up. Like, why are we continuing this? It's such a weird thing. Zaria seems like such an obvious call at this point, because it's the title that Soul had.
That would have been the reason to do the whole angle with Blake and Thea to get to Zaria hurt. Like, you know what? Honestly, this would have been really cool if we see Zaria like getting looked at, like maybe there's something wrong, a little wrong with her elbow, in the background of the shot with Jordan and Thea and Ava. Like she's got inside information that the challenge is happening. She's the only one who knows, so she's able to go in there and do it. She'll be able to get there first because she knew about it ahead of time, and the rest of the girls in kayfabe really wouldn't. So, like that to me is an interesting thing they could have done, but no, they just sent out Nikita Lyons to get blocked by security for some reason.
There's also like, man, it would have been so cool if in answering the open challenge, she injured Thea more, and then she kind of liked it, and that took her back of herself. Like, I love stuff like that where she injures her more, and she's like, hell yeah, and then she's like, oh, I don't love that I reacted that way, but like then she can't help herself, and then like things with Soul, then they have a chance to get vicious instead of just like a friend breakup or whatever. Like, there's so many things they could have done, and this is certainly not a reflection of Izzy Dame. Like, cool for her.
Oh yeah,
but bad storytelling.
It's just listen, man. There is a time and a place for somebody to be able to achieve a dream that makes sense for the program they're achieving the dream on. You know what I mean? Like, Izzy winning this is great for her, and I'm happy for her, and she looked fine doing it. She was vicious and went after there was this great moment where she tore the kinesio tape off of Thea's ribs. Yeah. And Thea reacted as though she was pulling off like a bunch of like padding or something. Like, no, if you take off my SWAT jacket, they'll be able to injure my ribs. Don't take off my bulletproof vest. Oh no, now I'm naked. Like, it's some tape. But she was being vicious with the whole thing. She was playing the part of the heel. It just made no sense to me that you would book her to lose and then book her to win on the same show.
Well, it's an open challenge against a compromised opponent. So I can understand like her being there, and I can understand her the type of heel she is taking advantage of the vulnerability. But I don't like it.
I don't understand why the people who run the show would book it.
Correct.
You know?
That I agree with both halves of that statement.
Yeah, I think that her winning it and obviously basically snaking that championship shot from Tatum away from her, kind of. And then also Sean Spears and Nico Vance were also at ringside for this, but they weren't at ringside for the earlier match match. We didn't know where they were. They said that on commentary, but now we do know where they are. They're one of them is standing like this. The other one vaguely has a mohawk. And like that is they're standing at ringside doing those things. One is scowling and one is holding his own elbows. And that is what they do at ringside the whole time. But it helps Izzy Dame to get the victory here. And she's the North American champion, and Tatum beats her at Vengeance Day, or Tatum loses to her at Vengeance Day and beats her at Stand and Deliver. Those are the, I mean, like, probably the second one, right? They're going to make this feud last all the way until then, when tonight, by all rights, should have been the end of it. But they're going to make it last.
Like, I don't know if that's true, because I don't know. This whole episode was a Band-Aid on the fact that
it really was
the entire top of the card. So, like, I don't know if, Tatum, if Izzy faces someone else and Tatum costs her the same way that Izzy cost her the world title. You know what I mean? Like, yeah. I don't know what the thinking is. Because I don't know if they know what the thinking is, honest to God. Like, they got so especially on the women's division, Alex, because you look at Jordynne Grace, you look at Blake Monroe, who were obviously two of their heaviest hitters, and in some respects, in a literal way. Yeah. Jacy Jayne is being rumored to be called up. This is after, in the same year, you had Steph, Julia Rocks. Like, so that's like, we built 8 prominent women and they all got called up is a lot for a division to endure. About
Stephanie, Julia, Roxanne, Blake Monroe / Mariah May, Jordynne Grace. Think of like any like that. If that is your top 5 women in the promotion that you book, find a top 5 elsewhere that obviously beats that. And that's what NXT lost this year.
Yeah.
To being called up. Now, brutal. Once they're on the main roster, they have to be booked right. Roxanne has lost more matches than anybody else, any woman on TV. Stephanie has been like hot and cold, although she's the champion, but like she does a thing, then she kind of like is kind of just there, but not really. They make her work Nikki Bella. Now she's got a thing with her ankle. And Julia like came up, took the title from Chelsea Green, wasn't booked to do anything with the title, lost to Chelsea Green in a minute. Chelsea Green was the champion for a month. Julia wasn't on TV. Julia comes back. Julia's the champion again. Like, could you book better than that? Yeah. But like you have the horses there. You're just starting to you're choosing to not run the horses correctly.
Sorry, the chat is saying that Zilla Fatu showed up and like confronted Ricky. I'm telling SRS about this, right? Or I'm asking SRS about this while we're on air.
When? Like
off air, I think.
Oh, like is a social media exclusive? Why the hell would you do that not on television?
I don't know.
That seems
I don't know.
I don't know what to do.
Sorry, I know nothing about this because we've been on air. So I'm reading what the chat says. You could be totally making things up, but enough people said like.
Are they taping an episode for next week?
I don't think so.
What's going on?
That's what I'm trying to find out.
Was that a thing at Wrestling over the weekend? Is that what that was?
They're feuding at Reality of Wrestling.
Okay, I don't know. I don't know what's going on. I don't know what's going on. All I know is what happens on the show that they show me. And they showed me Lola Vice.
Sorry, I just got a response from Sean, and I was like, "Oh, sorry." Like Zilla won't. It does not seem like he will be around anytime soon, based on the explanation that I was given.
So good. That makes more sense than everything I was being told. So Izzi won with a super sky high, an avalanche sky high, which looked like it rocked the back of Thea's head. I hope she's okay. And it was impressive, and she won, and good for her, I guess. It is good for her, but not great for the booking. So backstage, Lola Vice is watching this and going, and then Swipe Right walks up. Ricky Vapes and guy with the hair, Brian Bradley, something like that. And they're like, "Hey, mamacita," and I'm like, "You stop right now." And then Hank Attack walk over and go, "Hey, are these guys bothering you?" They're those guys, and they eventually leave. And Lola's like, "Man, those guys, they were going to get knocked out if they had kept on talking." I was like, "Yeah, I would have rather seen that than whatever this is."
I would have loved to have seen that.
Yeah. So then we got so we got Hank and Tank doing Hank and Tank shtick with Lola. And Lola says, "I beat Izzi like 2 weeks ago. Looks like I'm in line for a title match versus her." So maybe we get Lola versus Izzi first, and then Tatum versus Izzi last. Maybe that's what we do out of this.
Yeah, that kind of checks out.
Anyway,
that kind of checks out.
That's all of that. Now, main event. Leon and Oba had a very good match. Oba tried to do something where he was hucking Leon Slater all over the ring. Like,
was he?
Like at this point, like Leon, I hope Leon insured his sternum, because if so, he's getting a big payout, because that thing is totaled, because it was just giant slaps to the sternum constantly. But eventually he's on the outside and he outwits Oba, who's goes for a big knee up against the ring post on the outside, and his knee, he moves out of the way, and Oba's knee collides with it, and then it's just all kicks to the knee over and over again. And Oba's doing a really good job selling that. I've seen him sell other parts. I've seen him sell ribs. I've seen him sell shoulder. I've never seen him sell knee. And I love watching Oba do new things I've never seen before because he's so damn good at it. Do you know how often I see a guy who's been selling knee have to do a thing where they run across the ring and then, oh no, the knee acted up?
Yeah.
You see it happen so often. It always sucks. Not when Oba does it. Oba somehow localized the pain to, like, when I was running, I took a step a different way, and that, because of that, tweaked the ligament that I had damaged, and that's why it hurt. Like, he does it differently, because why would all the other steps be fine, but this one is not? Well, because I took a different angle with this step, because he's great. This is very, very good. Leon does his crazy running flip over the turnbuckle to the outside to land on Oba. That's great. This is all great. Loved it. I thought with all the Oba vignettes that maybe this is a fun thing to do. You put the title on Leon Slater. You have Ricky come after Leon. You have Leon have a short reign, and Ricky is the new heel champion with everybody chasing him in NXT. I thought maybe we would do that. I thought it'd be a really cool thing to, like, a kind of a make good, like, we have made you guys look like not a little bro, but like a baby bro to TNA. Maybe this also. What a recruiting pitch of, you've already been NXT World Champion. You were NXT World Champion for 3 weeks, but you've already been NXT World Champion. Obviously, look, Leon, how much we love you. Please come here. We already paid for your new teeth. Don't you love your new teeth? We love your teeth too.
And a
Please
new sternum.
Stay. And your new sternum. We had that insured with Lloyd's of London. And so you have a brand new sternum and some brand new teeths, and you are here now. And we love you. Here is the world title. Don't you want to come and sign with us? I thought maybe they were going to do that. So much so that I was like, with 3 minutes left in the broadcast, this isn't. We haven't done we haven't started the big boom, 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 boom. Like, you got to hit Oba with 6 things in succession to beat him. That's but the only thing that's ever happened is that, you can't hit him with one move and win. Okay. So, as spectacular as the Swanton 450 is, just doing that isn't enough to beat him. So I was waiting for him to start doing, like, maybe he was going to do like 4 corners of 450 swantons or something over and over and over again. But he hadn't started. That part of the match hadn't started yet. And I was like, well, I guess we're keeping the title on Oba. And 14 seconds after that, he hit up one pop-up powerbomb and pinned Leon Slater. It was a really good match. Just the ending didn't really snap into it because it wasn't about that at all. It was about, giving Leon his first world title shot. Oba overcomes and puts somebody down with one big giant move nobody kicks out of, and he does, and that's it, and it's over, and he holds up his title, and he's won. And then backstage, then I, on my couch, go, what are we doing with Tony D'Angelo? And then backstage, Ava is talking to all the Evolve kids and says, there's been a lot of call-ups from NXT to the main roster. So there seems to be a lot of room for NXT call-ups. She meant Evolve call-ups, but she said NXT call-ups, and so I thought that was funny. And then knocking on her door is Robert Stone, said, hey, Ava, did you see what Oba just did? No, what? And then it just a close-up of the belt left in the middle of the ring. And then looking up the ramp is Tony D'Angelo looking at a belt left there, laying there. Oba vacates as opposed to putting over anybody on the way out. And listen, I love Oba being strong, but that he's lost before. It's not like Asuka, who had the win streak that you were trying to protect so that you could have her put over Charlotte Flair. That's really important to you. I understand how important it is to make Charlotte Flair look strong, but there was no such win streak with Oba. Like, we'd already seen him lose. You could have him lose on the way out. Like, I do believe the plan was for Javon to beat Oba at Stand and Deliver. And then they said, Javon's coming up, Oba's coming up. And they were like, okay, we don't really want any of these people to beat Oba. So, tournament? Like, that's honestly what it feels like.
I think they started a different story, right? But it would have been so cool if Tony D beat him, because, like, God, nobody has my number except this guy is such a fucking cool idea.
At Deadline, Javon wins the Iron Survivor. Tony D shows up, puts down Javon, and stares daggers at Oba, and Oba looks shook, looking at the man who he knows can beat him. Javon can't. Tony D has. That has a very easy story to tell, all the way till tonight, where you get to Oba, Javon, and Tony D in a match, a triple threat against each other. And you have Tony D pin Javon if you don't want to pin Oba. That's a very easy story to get to. They chose to do everything else. I don't know what episode I said it first. HBK adds extra rooms onto his house just so he has more corners to book himself into. Like, he just can't take the simple path that leads to a good story. He has to find all these other friggin' things, because if tonight is the end of the storyline and that whole thing, you don't have to show Javon during a commercial sign a contract with Adam Pearce last night. You can have his last match be tonight. You can have Oba also lose tonight, and they both go up, and Tony D's your new champion. That's a real easy thing to do. They could have easily done the same thing, but with Oba and Javon and Ricky Saints. If Ricky Saints is one you want, they could easily have those things, but they decided to do none of those things. They decided to have, by the way, no one should even want to be in an Iron Survivor match, because every time somebody wins one of those things and then they get a title shot, they friggin' lose it, except for Oba. That's it. And Oba's Oba. Nobody wins those things. You get a shot of New Year's Evil and you lose it.
Yeah. I just love the, like, when you have someone so super dumb. I guess the discussion here with Leon Slater to me is like, I don't know anything. This is not like anything I've even heard a whisper about. So it's certainly not a report, but like, I can't imagine WWE, unless they already bought out Leon Slater's contract, which I don't think they did. Like, I don't think they're going to put their world title on someone that's not one of theirs. But like the when you pull back the lens a little, it's there's no payoff to this dominant champion, right? Like, you didn't do anything productive with all of that. And I think it would have been such a coup for Tony D to be able to beat Oba. And I'm just a sucker for, like, God, that guy just has my number. I love that because it's one, it's compelling wrestling television, in my opinion, but two, like, there's guys like that in all of sports. Like, I think it was Tony Gwynn that, like, it was like John Smoltz, Greg Maddox, Randy Johnson, and Andy Pettit or something. Like,
Greg Maddox.
Yeah,
like Tony Gwynn hit like 056 against Greg Maddox, but he was a lifetime 370 hitter or whatever he was. That's just one dude he could not solve, no matter what
happened. Like, so I love that. That's something that's just real. That's true to a lesser extent, not as proper competition, but like, people work with people like that who just like are always showing you up at the board meeting unintentionally. It's not even their fault or whatever. They're just doing their job. Like things like that. Eli Manning and Tom Brady, beautiful example. Like, so I love when that happens. And it's like somehow even more special when it happens in NXT because you had to have been crossing paths at the same right times for that to happen. And that would have been like the proper way to do it. But speaking of proper ways to do things, here's an accurate reporter who got the Jericho news right, who's got an NXT call-ups right, who got AEW departures right. I just put you over, Jonathan. How are you?
You're muted or something.
You're muted is how you are.
Yeah, boy. FightfulSelect.com.
Coke Zero. Go ahead.
Anyway, yeah, by the way, you sent me a link to vanilla Coke, just full-bodied sugar. Like I hadn't found that already. That's in stores everywhere.
You were open to it yesterday.
No, absolutely. No. The holiday creamy vanilla full body. I'm open to one occasionally. No, absolutely not. If anybody has vanilla Coke Zero in their area, zero is important. But anyway, to clarify some of the things, so Fightful Select had, the Javon Evans, Oba Femi, a lot of stuff like that. Jordan Grace confirmed. I also did a clandestine scoop today on In the Weeds where I revealed that the Mariah May or the Blake Monroe Thea Hale match would not be happening. I figured that the Oba Femi title vacation would happen because they don't want to beat him en route to, from what I understand, what they have planned for him on the main roster. That's what was hinted at me.
But go ahead.
I should be very clear because there were a lot of people that were sending me messages and like, oh, the fact that they pulled Blake Monroe from this North American title match confirms your report. And I was like, well, I'm very careful about how I word things. Her call-up has been discussed. There are also people that I talked to that said, well, it was not planned with the others. So, like, it has been discussed. There are certainly people that are pushing for Blake Monroe to be called up. But the reality is, Blake Monroe could have been called up the moment she appeared on WWE TV, emerging from the greatest women's wrestling storyline in American TV history. Like, that could have happened. There are a lot of CW elements and things that I'm going to write about, but I understand their method of, I think we kind of see it. TNA and AEW wrestlers a lot of times go through NXT, and I think that's largely a CW thing because they want people that watch TNA and AEW to give NXT a try because they're of the belief that the WWE fans that want to watch their show already do. But as far as Jacy, Jayne and Blake Monroe, those have definitely been discussed, but I don't know for sure that they're going up. I'd also heard another name that had been discussed, but don't know if it's necessarily happening. But Javon Evans, Oba Femi, Jordan Grace, they are done in NXT. They are not supposed to be on NXT moving forward. They are not at least planned on it. There's always the opportunity that, they could pop back up and do stuff there, but they are done. And I gotta say,
I certainly thought we'd get an Oba Femi goodbye promo.
Sure.
Sure.
And
but
I mean,
maybe we will, but like, I thought he would get a, like, the ruler is leaving because there's no more to rule here or something.
Yes. Now, Kate, on behalf of the chat, reached out to me to ask me about Zilla Fatu. Now, I had a lovely interview with Zilla last year. There are certain circumstances of which had prevented WWE from bringing him in the past, but he's a Fatu. Of course, they got their eye on him. But I'm hearing like people claiming that he confronted Rick. That did not happen. He was not there. It was a chant that was started, and then an engagement account capitalized on that chant. And not to diminish that man or his skills or his abilities, it's a warehouse. 3 people can start a chant. Like,
yes, that's true.
It is. You can start all kinds of chants there. There's nothing to indicate right now that that's happening. Yeah, I have just not. Yeah.
I started a chant. Do you want to know what it was? It was a fun one.
What was it?
It was on the Jericho cruise. I started a Marco's gonna kill you chant. I forget who he was in there with, but it was someone really, really, really large. And I half jokingly said it very loud and it caught on. And I was so proud of myself.
Well, this is not a super chat, and you all should send super chats, but someone also asked about David Finlay. I'm working on putting something together with that. I'm going to talk to somebody connected to him tomorrow, hopefully, and I might have something. But honestly, if I were WWE, I would probably bring David Finlay in because I don't know what in the shitting fuck they plan on doing with the men's division.
Yeah.
I don't know. You're gonna have Hank and Tank singles runs? I might like that. Like, what are they gonna do?
We talked a lot about that in the imbalance of faces and heels, like Ricky
turning Ricky heel really hampers your baby faces. Like whatever Tony D is, he's not a baby face. Like they don't have a lot. Ethan Page is super heel. Like he's a top of the card guy, but like they don't have a lot of baby faces.
They certainly do not. They also do not develop men that transition to the main roster or transition to American TV wrestling with the same degree of success as women. And it's not just an NXT thing either. Like if you look on the independent circuit, there are probably 4 or 5 women that look like they could be signed to NXT and be on TV tomorrow compared to every one guy. Like it's slim pickings out there, whether it be size, ability, presentation, gear, anything like that. Like there are an awful, like it is, the scale is definitely like there. I mean, there were like 5 in the women's ID match that probably could have been on NXT.
Sure.
Even like there were a ton, but obviously they are dipping into like bringing back Matt Cardona, which was not a thing that they had real interest in the last few years. So bringing in Joe Hendry and putting him on NXT and now making him more of a serious character, I think they're starting to recognize they're probably going to need some reinforcements there. I don't know, putting a TNA wrestler as your top contender for the NXT title and everybody looking at it and going, yeah, that's probably the right decision. That's probably the right idea to do that. So, yeah.
A lot of people in the chat and myself also wondering where Jada Parker is. So if you want to sniff around that would be nice.
This is not aggregatable, but I believe she's been injured.
Okay.
Because I did ask about her today.
Thank you for reading my mind. Appreciate it.
Yes.
Most importantly, Sean, we do have somebody that's willing to send you your Coke Zero Desires, but he lives in Australia, so you're gonna have to pay that annual Fightful membership.
Listen, I paid $20-some in general just to get it shipped here, and it's like delayed by 3 days. I'm so mad right now. It's been sitting at the regional facility 2 miles from my house, and it has supposedly been in transit to my local facility 1 mile closer for 2 days. I am never seeing this soda. I am so mad right now.
Yeah.
If you guys want more questions answered, you got to start paying for them because we're already at 2 hours and 15 minutes into the show.
I just popped on because I would have liked to have popped on the top of the show, but I was doing some other stuff, and I was like, okay, I can hop on here and add a little bit, but yeah.
You also ask Sean questions in the Fightful Select Discord, by the way. There's an Ask SRS channel. So if you're subscribed, you can bug Sean 24/7. I do that outside of the Discord, but you guys can do it inside of the Discord instead of annoying Sean on several platforms.
But yeah, I wanted to clarify, especially the Blake Monroe thing. Like I just wanted to make sure that I don't expect her up with this group right now, but I can tell you that one of the people that was pushing for her that spoke with me, they saw the botch and they were like, oh, this is one of the best things for my agenda as humanly possible because they were like clean break. And then they were also like, by the way, we ain't doing that match. We're not doing that rematch. And I was,
wow.
Because I got told that they announced it. And then like a week later, I got told, yeah, they're probably not doing it. And they were still promoting it up until today. And I was like, oh, Okay.
They're promoting it up
then.
until like when it was
The
supposed
show.
to happen.
Yeah.
And I was like, is this person just completely wrong? Because this person wants Blake Monroe on the main roster and has for a long time, but for whatever reason, it's not been the case. There are other people with the interest of Blake Monroe that are like, well, is it better for her to come up now with like 5 people, or is it better like 5 months from now after WrestleMania or something, and her to be up there by herself? So I get that too.
Please. Money in the blank. Blake writes itself.
Oh, I did Blake the Walls Down yesterday.
There you go.
That was a good one.
Were you surprised Chris Jericho didn't answer Thea Hale's open challenge tonight?
I'm not going to make any comment on what I was going to say there. I'm not going to say anything.
You're declining to comment on what your comment was going to be.
I plead the fifth. That's me right now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5th. Not doing that. On that note, I am going to leave. Goodbye.
Goodbye before we get you in more trouble. Thanks for stopping by, Sean Rossap. So some additional clarity for you guys on Blake Monroe specifically, but some greater context. And you can find even more of that on FightfulSelect.com, where we've got, it's only Tuesday, baby. I guess technically Wednesday, but we've had scoops for you all week.
Yeah. DNC is saying that there's more female feature main eventers than male. That is objectively
they're
true.
allowed to main event WrestleMania.
Well, you know what I mean, but like as far as like the main card of the women's division is stacked.
Yes. They've done such a better job with like both on the main roster and in NXT, just like raising talent the right way. It's perplexing why they can't do that with the men as much.
Yeah. Anyway, Oba, they with what they wanted to do, just trying to read between the lines of what whole Sean was telling us. With what they want to do with Oba, they don't want him taking a loss on his way out of NXT. Fine. Having him relinquish the title off screen is ridiculous. Having him relinquish the title and then cutting, like having while Ava is saying to the Evolve kids, maybe you'll get a call up. I don't know. And then having Robert Stone announce, didn't even say that it had happened. He just said, "Did you see what Oba did?" And then a title, Alone in the Ring. Like, Oba's such a great promo and such a great character that if he doesn't show up next Tuesday to like explain, I will feel very cheated. Like almost as cheated as I feel that Javon Evans didn't dethrone him as Stand and Deliver. Like that having been gone, if you're going to have Oba just vacate the title, leave it in the ring, like he's got to say something about it because that's his character. He's not a private man with private thoughts. He demands your attention. You know what I mean? Like he would say, because there is no more left of this world to conquer, I must move on. Cody Rhodes, I am coming for you. Something like that, man.
I also feel like it wasn't like accidental that Ava was told that while she was saying like these people got officially called up to the main roster, and then they did that on the side, and I'm like, oh, cheated is a good word. Like I feel like everyone's happy that, maybe not happy with the way in which Oba's departing, but everyone understands that this guy is the future, right? So
this is so true. Daddy Kaiju, you would think Ava would actually be watching a match where the main title for the brand she runs could have been potentially won by a TNA talent. Like that match just ended. Were you watching the end of that match with the entire roster of Evolve standing behind you in your office? That is silly.
That's actually how I watch all of NXT. I just have a roster of wrestlers behind.
Oh my goodness.
Mine are all podcasters that are in developmental, though. They all just stand behind me while I watch.
Ryan Giacchini says, "My beloved breakout tourney teases at the end. I would love to see
They should do that. This is the time.
Tournament of solely new talent for
Yeah.
both, especially the women. Let Kelly Armstrong win that.
Big time.
You know what I mean? Like, she's great. I really like her a lot.
100%.
Tama Valley is saying, wait a minute. Oba relinquished the title. Is Oba pregnant? Congratulations, Oba. Jim Duker says, Oba Femi, nothing else matters. And that guy he's so damn special. Will Chisholm says, Oba saw Samoa Joe vacate the ROH TV title and said that's a good idea.
There you go.
So, Ryan Cicchini says, Oba politicking already? The chosen one.
He is
that does not work for me, brother.
Right? He's like, well, I'm not a Nepo baby, so I got to get politicking early. This
literally
industry,
says to Ava, that does not work for me, brother. Like, that's it. Perfect. So Cyclo says, guys, look, this is I'm quoting now. Okay. Guys, look, it's destined that Triple H will ruin our precious Black Kings of Oba, Trick, Javon, and Mello on the main roster. But can we please manifest that Brock Lesnar is nowhere in sight to ruin them? What does the Magic 8 Ball think of this? Prospect good. So
there you go.
Yeah, prospect good.
Gunther's gonna retire him before he can
listen. I would not want this, but if the thing that they're trying to keep him protected for is a Mania match with Brock Lesnar, where he goes over, that's a thing to protect him for.
Sure.
I would just say
want
have
it to
him
be
win.
Drew.
I want it to be Drew too, because I like Drew a lot more than Brock for obvious reasons. But
honestly, the match compels me more.
The match would be a lot better.
Yeah, that also just intrigues me on several levels.
But just have Oba win the Rumble and beat Cody. I don't understand why we weren't doing that. Just do that. Just do that. Just do that. Just have him do that. Is that okay? And then Tom LaValle says, your new top babyface, break the walls down.
Break down the walls. Wait, you want to do Duff Rebels version of the theme? Chris Jericho.
Broken walls.
I'm a grown-ass learning tree.
Judas.
In my mind.
Sicko Party 22 says massive changes for NXT. Any possible free agent acquisitions like David Finlay? Talked about it. Drilla Maloney, who is already a free agent. I'm not sure. Female talent from CMLL. So many possibilities. What do you see happening? And Luis says, if you're talking about Catalina and Persephone from CMLL, they ain't coming because Catalina had 2 eye surgeries and Persephone is sidelined with an injury. And then Luis says, I think they're gonna sign Evil. Now, if you're gonna sign Evil, tonight would have been the night. New Year's Evil. Come on, people. What are we doing?
After him.
My goodness.
I think he goes to Judgment Day because that House of Torture and Judgment Day are basically the same thing. So
yeah. Meat Normus saying, as a meat man, I recommend you both have attendee. I would love attendee.
Yeah, that sounds great.
Chuka 3693 says, thank you guys so much. This podcast is amazing. Well, we thank you, Chuka.
Thank you so much. We love that. Thank you.
That's very nice. Thank you. All right, some puns. You said telephone puns, so here we go.
Evil chase you. Oh my God. Stop. Do not manifest evil chase you.
Tom LaValle says 1-800 call ups.
1-800 call ups.
1-800 call UPS, I suppose. Call AT&T. 1-800 call AT&T. Just dial down the center. Remember that?
There's a great ZSJ promo where he says 1-800 dickhead. Dial down the center.
Ryan Giacchini says NXT sure could use Persephone. Not Persephone, but Persephone. Meet Norma says Varai, son of a plumber. AT and TNA. Booker T-Mobile.
Beautiful.
I am Chris Pereira. Chris Pereira says Alexander Graham LaBelle lock.
That's
Mike,
really good.
Mike Shutt says Josh Alexander Graham Bell. Dial Tony D. Per son to per son of a plumber. Motorola Razor Ramon. And T-Mobile Super Kick.
I'm assuming Razor is spelled R-A-Z-R. Like, that was such a short period of time for you youngins, but you should go look up the Razor. Everybody that was cool had one. R-A-Z-R.
I had one. I was cool.
Well, you're the coolest person.
Jeremy Pringle calling me the Goldilocks of Sour because I got the gold up there. Thank you very much.
I'm offended.
Chris Pereira says sunset flip phone.
I'm right here, Goldilocks of Sour. You don't even have locks. Sunset flip phone is very, very good.
Sunset flip phone is very, very good. Rafael Garcia says the nonsense puns. Bouncy House of Torture. And phone pun. Nokia Lions. Chris Pereira says House of Blackberry.
Very good.
Gary Pringle says horrible booking kid. Some things never change. Well, that's not a pun. That's just the truth.
That is just the truth.
See here. Chris says Motorola Razor's Edge.
Very nice. Very nice.
Cyclo says I love things that don't make sense. My example being this pun. Bread pun, but instead of bun, it's pun. No, but seriously, if Oba doesn't demolish Drew or Cody at Mania for that world title and is the forever champ fighting Javon, then everything sucks. There you go. Give in to your hatred, MD Cyclo.
You belong.
It's good. Electric Mayhem says roll up.
Like us.
Not roll over minutes, but roll up minutes.
Classic.
Greg Cherry Brand says fax Harwood.
Very nice.
Big time text. Dakota iMessage. Booker T-Mobile. Sky Bluetooth. Sean Ross app. Ivy Nile Tone. Peyton Royce mail. Love yins. We love you too, Greg Cherry.
Hey everyone, just real quick, say your goodbyes to Luis in the chat because he just asked me what a razor is. It was nice to have a new year. You made me feel old one too many times, Luis. Get out of here.
Cedric Mayhem also says roll up minutes. Tito Gatto says Josh Alexander Graham Bell. Sky Bluegrass Cellular. That
Very
must
nice.
be a thing in the area. Meet Norma says Switchboard Jay White. The Landline. Radio Shack Perry. Penta El Cerro Motorola. Zach Razor Jr. Tour of the Dial-Up. Sky Bluetooth. Ringtone D. C. Delgado says Rotaria Ripley. And the world's strongest bandwidth. Silver Apocalypse says New York Evil puns. Evil puns. Oh, Thea. Oh, there we go. New Year's Evil puns. There we go. Thea Hell. Soulless Ruka. Red Rum Velvet. The Pennywise Man. Blake De Monroe. And your and Beelzebub's your uncle. With all of the spooky and creepy and evil puns we've done for Halloween Havoc, no one's ever done Beelzebub's your uncle.
That's really, really good.
That is.
I like that one a lot.
That is.
Silver Apocalypse says communication puns. Okay. Tatum Paxley.
Very
Bailey
good.
Mail. Superstar Billy Telegram. Not Morse code, but Moose code. Mia YIM. Not AIM, but YIM. EO Skype. And hell in a cell phone. Hell in a cell phone.
That's fantastic.
Meet Enormous says Braun Breaker 19, Blackberry Wyndham, and Dakota Wi-Fi.
Nice.
Okay. Only a few jukeboxes. Nobody said anything else.
Yeah, please.
Anything else?
We did 2 hours and 40 minutes yesterday, and we're gonna do about the same here.
All right. Yes. All right. So DNC Digital sent this one last week, so we have it this week because we couldn't get to it last week. So here we go.
Right.
Because Linder is from the same neighborhood, can she do Renee by the Lost Boys? Sure. Here we go. Come on. This is check the box. I'm not a robot.
Do you need your
No,
nephew?
I'm fine. Here we go. Renee, here we go. Now, here's a tune about this shorty named Renee that I met one day on my way back from John Jay. I'm peeping shorty as she's walking to the drain. I tap her on her shoulders. Excuse me, miss, but can I get your name? She said, my name is Renee. I said, I got a whole lot to say. So may I walk you to your subway? She said, if you want. So, we started talking. I bought 2 francs and 2 drinks, and we began walking. I had to see where that head was at because the gear was mad fat. It's PHAT fat.
Of course.
So we must chat about this and that. She told me what she was in school for. She wants to be a lawyer. In other words, Shorty studies law, and I'm telling Shorty I'm a writer. And as she's looking for the token, she drops a package of the Easy Writer, covers her mouth with her name ring. I said, don't sweat the technique, Shorty Rock. I do the same thing. But yet I use Philly blunts. She said, I never dealt with Philly blunts because I heard that's for silly stunts. I said, nah, they burn slower. Right now, I really don't know ya, but maybe later on I could get to show ya. A ghetto love is the law that we live by. Day by day, I wonder why my shorty had to die. This turned dark very quickly. That escalated so fast. I thought this was very nice. Day by day, I wonder why my shorty had to die. I reminisce over my ghetto princess every day. Give it up for my shorty. Give it up for my shorty. There's a lot of lyrics here. I'm not reading the whole thing, but apparently she dies.
It's sad.
It's very
But
sad.
you said the thing about Easy Rider, which of course is your old nickname.
Rough Rider. Okay.
Definitely relax.
Love for Boost says, not a pun, just thinking of the Nokia anti-theft device Super Bowl commercial. Best halftime commercial ever. I don't know this one. I'll have to look it up.
Yeah, I don't know either, but I'll look it up too.
Okay, Rafael Garcia sent one in from JBR. Paul Popolowski recounts the final deletion. All right, so there's the Hardy Boys. They used to be with WWE, and they did the thing. So then they also dance like this. They do the dance. Do the dance, everybody. Do the dance. Do the dance. Yeah, that's Hardy Boys. Then they left for various reasons. I think one of them was into the drugs. But anyway, they left and they eventually they migrated over to the TNA. And that one of them got broke. He broke. Something went wrong in his mind. He was broken. He lived on the compound and there was a giraffe. I remember it was a giraffe. His father-in-law was the gardener, which I just felt like was very disrespectful of your elders to make your father-in-law, who was an elderly man, into your gardener. He had a child. His name was Maxwell, I think, and his wife played the piano. They were like the Addams family, kind of. He had a drone. The drone, his name was Vanguard 1. I don't know if there was a Vanguard 2, but there was Vanguard 1, and he docked to Vanguard 1 like it was a living being. And then anyway, that was the one of the Hardys. The other one, that one, he was not as broken, but they did the thing where they had the whole cinematic, the thing where he would come in, he's playing the piano, and then the other one comes in, and the broken guy goes, "Brother Nero, I knew you'd come," and that was amazing. People still quote it to this day. Oh, he did the delete. He deleted all the time. He would do the delete. The one guy danced like this. The other guy did the delete. You got to do the book delete, dance, and then delete, and then that's what he did. And then there was the final deletion. That was the lead up to final deletion. I will tell you about the final deletion. It was a match that took place on the Hardy compound, and there, when they were there was a boat. There was the dilapidated boat, and there was a lake. It was a lake of reincarnation. If you went into the lake, you came out with a new gimmick. It was a very silly thing. There were fireworks. At some point, somebody got buried alive, or maybe that was not in that one. It was a different one. Did a lot of these, by the way. There's a lot of this stuff. Something got lit on fire. I don't know. It was 10 years ago, TNA. LOL, TNA. What?
You should pop up Pulowski as LOL TNA.
That was all from memory, and I haven't watched that in 10 years.
That's pretty impressive, honestly.
Yeah. Thank you. I appreciate it. Okay. Hello, it's me. T-Electric Mayhem says, to honor 750 plus one, Dusty sings the Cheers theme. That's a great song, by the way. That's one of the best songs for one of the best shows. Here we go. All right. So, making your way in the world today, baby, takes everything you got. Taking a break from all your worries, Daddy, sure would help a lot. Wouldn't you like to get away? Sometimes you want to go where everybody knows your name, and they're always glad you came. You want to be where you can see troubles are all the same. You want to be where everybody knows your name. Boo, dooba dooba doo 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 wah.
That was beautiful. Thank you so much, Dusty, for allowing us to experience that. And I like the ending, because sometimes you got to sing the instrumentals.
You gotta sing the piano part there, because that's part of the song. You know the thing.
Iconic.
Yeah, it's got to do it. All right. Well, I gotta go back to the Great Beyond. We've been doing this show. We've been doing this show for too long, so I gotta go so somebody else can come in so we can end this damn thing. All right, here we go, everybody. Bye bye. Hello, it's me,
Ricky.
Hello. So here we go. Tom LaValle says Ricky Rainbow to sing "Exit Lude" by the Killers. Man, I wish I could have exits when I was taking ludes. I took so many ludes back in the day, but I couldn't find the exit. That's what ludes did to you. You couldn't find the exit once you did the lude.
There you
Aggressively, we all defend the role we play. Regrettably, times come to send you on your way. We've seen it all, bonfires of trust, flash floods of pain. It doesn't really matter. Don't you worry, it'll all work out. No, it doesn't even matter. Don't you worry about what it's all about. Well, we hope you enjoyed your stay. It's good to have you with us, even if it's just for today. We hope you enjoyed your stay. Outside, the sun is shining. Seems like heaven ain't far away. It's good to have you with us, even if it's just for today. Thank you.
That was beautiful, Ricky. Thank you so much. Your hair looks particularly Ricky-ish today.
I got it volumized.
I love it. It looks fantastic. New look for the new year. There you go. I love it.
Right, well, everybody go to bed. It's very late. Keep cool, gabagoos.
Toodles.